Thanks for having me.
Vince. So what time did you leave to come up here?
About 1:15.
You psycho.
It was quite a quiet drive. I mean, all things considered, it was. I saw maybe one deer. There's probably 2 patches of road that were honestly scary. It's a front-wheel drive car, so you don't really get much, dexterity out of it. That's for sure.
Where'd you drive from?
Metro Detroit. So like, I live in.
Did you hear that?
This morning?
He drove up this morning.
Crusher.
1 a.m.
I was going to try to sleep in the parking lot, but then I saw you, and I was like, oh, gig's up. Can't fall asleep in the parking lot anymore. Mark's going to come out and kick me out of the parking lot. Just kidding.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. Because I want to make sure to talk through this so it didn't get lost, because I don't know where this is going to go. But how old are you right now?
I am 25.
Okay, so you're 25 right now. And when you started like coming to the events and stuff, what year was it?
2019. Well, 2018, my brother and I came up to SAG for my dad for that really rough year of really hot, really terrible year. I think that was, I can't remember if he blew his knee out or not. No, that was, he pulled out pretty close to the end of it.
Which brother came with you?
No, Andrew. That was when Dad did over the 25-hour. That was when the whole rule was set. We're going over 24 hours because Todd wants to go to sleep.
I think I met Andrew, didn't I?
Yeah. That
at the finish line?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you might have been delirious. I don't know.
Has Nick been here?
Yeah, Nick came up in 2020. That was going to be my first 100-year race, but I cut my thumb on a table saw. So when it was like 3 months in front of that, and I didn't have the proper train to come up, and he took my camping spot and like hung out with my dad basically all weekend.
Yeah, I met Nick too. I remember.
Oh, he's a beast. You can't forget about him. That's for sure.
Yeah. He's big. He's lifting a lot. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or is he coaching more now?
Yeah. So he's on his final track for his pro card. I mean, he's been pro training for. And he's a bodybuilder, not a power lifter. Apparently, there's a difference. I don't necessarily know the difference.
Well, just look at the pictures, and you'll see the difference.
Yes, I mean, I know he's over 200 pounds. I'm not sure exactly, and he's got at least 2% body fat on him.
Yeah,
and it's all just straight muscles, really nothing else to it.
Yeah.
He's going for his last show in August for his pro card. I want to say the last 2 or 3 years we've gone to these pro competitions, and it's like a politically played statement. They basically aren't going to let you in unless they think that you're ready and you know that you're ready type of thing. And it's like kind of preset, but no one really talks about it. But the coaches are the refs for all the top tier people coming in. And we didn't realize that until basically the 3rd year. And now they basically told him, hey, you're going to be good. You're going to be all set. Just make sure you do, A through Z. And he's been training. I guess because it's more than food than really it is training, because he's really putting himself through a lot of, I wouldn't say the word is pain because he enjoys it, but to us it would definitely be a different type of suffering. That's for sure.
Incredible discipline.
Oh, for sure.
For the competitive bodybuilders.
Yeah, the type of food that he eats and the amount of discipline that you have to choose what to eat and what not to eat. I mean, it's something that I try to do, but I'm not good at it like he is. I mean, I'm slowly eating better every single day, but going straight to chicken and rice and that's it. Chicken and rice and mustard on chicken and rice, and that's your highlight, But he's been doing this specific training for over a year now. I want to say he's been on maybe 2 years. He's been on this food regimen, and it's just been every single time I see him. He doesn't live at home anymore, but anytime I see him, he's like just a whole different style. Whole arms are bigger, chest pops out a little bit differently. Yeah. But I mean, those are the type of mentors that I have pretty much around me. He's a really, 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 really good example. I mean, everything you can't, I can't fool him. I couldn't even lie to him. It's just not possible. He just reads right through you.
He's a driven dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was in the Marines for 4 years. I think he was in the reserves. And after that, when he came out of that, I mean, because I want to say he had bullying problems in high school, and I want to say it was a big reason why he went into the Marine Corps. But then after he got back from that and served his time, I mean, it changed the way that he ran his life. It gave him a whole different type of like ethos. You know what I mean? Kind of like this is like our type of boot camp for some people.
I've heard that.
In a weird way, I describe Marji like the Marine Corps. And I have no hand in the Marine Corps. I necessarily don't know anything but other than what I've been told. But the part that I relate to it is whenever I leave from a big race or a big event and you go home and you're trying to talk to all these regular people. I don't really know exactly what to say. There's people that just haven't indulged themselves into fear and wanting to be a better type of human being. I mean, there's more that goes into it. That's what I get out of biking. That is that type of lifestyle. But when leave these types of events, like say we did Marji and it's 24 hours and 30 minutes, how do I go home and talk to any one of my friends or my mom or anybody and say, hey, this is what I went through and I hope that you can understand one day?
You know what I think you got to do? Or this is what I would suggest. It's hard. Like you really can't, try to go anywhere and describe a Marji Gesick or something of that nature to somebody who hasn't experienced it.
Right.
It's really hard.
Be a Marji people or 906 people.
Yeah. But what you can share with people is why you do it and what it does for you.
Right on.
If you speak really from the heart and you're not blowing smoke up their ass and it's authentic and meaningful, that I think would resonate with people. But describing it, like I know when we came back from Adventurous, it's like, people, you go out, you do a bike pack for 17 days.
Yeah.
And they're like, what was it like? And I'm like, I don't even know where to start or what to tell you. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You can only experience it to really fully appreciate it.
100%. Yeah, to really fully appreciate it.
But now, can I tell somebody what it did to me or the impact it had on me? Sure, I could sit down and be like, okay, here's what it did for me.
Right on. I feel like it's more for the individual. It's like kind of what you take, not really necessarily, because it's more than just what you take at the end of the day out of it. Because there's a lot of training and everything that goes involved with it.
So, okay, let's get back on track. So you're back like in 18 is when you sort of walk in the door of the 906 Adventure Team events and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So your first time in the door in 18?
It was 19 was my first race.
So 19 was your first race. Was that Crusher?
No, I did Crusher in 2018. The 100 Crusher in 2018.
So you did, okay. Oh, that's right.
But
I didn't do
Marji that year.
Did your dad hand you a bike that year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The pivotless.
That's right. Okay, so Hammer, first event, and then 19 was Marji?
It was my first Marji. We were coming up, and I was supposed to be doing the 50, and we were at the UP Motor Lodge, and my dad goes, guess what? You're not doing the 50 anymore. I signed you up for the 100. And I'm like... okay. And for a couple years prior, biking was pretty much my release because I had a acute stage of sports-induced asthma pretty much, but it was mold spores and secondhand smoke would pretty much bring it up. I couldn't walk from my mom's condo from my bedroom door to the front door. So whenever I got into the biking and then it kind of weaned the whole asthma thing out for me. And then I just kind of became the relief. And whenever my dad said, hey, you're going to be doing the 100-mile race, this is me still in a little bit of an asthma stage. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't think I can do this.
But you did the 100-mile Hammer?
Or Crusher, yeah.
Without an issue?
Yeah, well, pretty much without an issue. I mean, we all had our individual problems, me interpersonal issues, but.
What did you come into? What was your athletic background prior to Hammer? Like, what did you do in high school? Were there any sports?
Yeah, so we played.
Did you ride a lot?
We all played hockey growing up, and I played lacrosse for about 12 years, pretty much going through high school.
Lacrosse?
I had a really good ride at this school in Metro Detroit called Notre Dame Prep. It's basically a Catholic preparation school that's under the Notre Dame name. Okay. And I got picked up from a winter league, but they can't scholarship people. They can't pick you from a public school. So they basically offered a scholarship, and that was when I knew that my capability of this, my hands and what I put dedication to. I mean, it's just like riding. I can't tell you how many days of wall balls that I had of just throwing the ball at the wall, cold, hot, walking through school with my stick in my hand. I mean, it was like a part of me. It was something that would never be taken away from me or disconnected, pretty much.
What's prep school like?
I would imagine it's a lot more because, like, I never got to go to it. From other dealings, there's someone else that kind of didn't help out with the scenario. And
okay. So you didn't go to prep school?
No. I ended up playing with them for 2 years on their fall balls and everything that went with it. And,
so you went public school?
Yeah, I went to a public school.
Okay.
Yeah, I never. Sorry, I forgot to clarify that. I never ended up getting accepted to there, but that was where I was one of the only students that I knew about that. They basically were like, hey, we like you type of thing. And I was like, hey, I've never had anyone tell me that before. Yeah. So you're like, all right, well, maybe my potential is truly, higher than what I thought it was. And I mean, that was a young age. I was probably 14 years old when I was probably first told that.
When you came into Hammer, why did you get signed up? Did your dad sign you up? Did you tell your dad you wanted to do it? How did that happen?
I want to say it came from ranging from smaller or what were large difficulties for me, challenges. Each race that I did, from the very first race that I did, the Sweat Shaker in 2017 or 2018. And I mean, that is what, 20 miles? It's nothing, but it was like a challenge for me. Mm-hmm. And then you upgraded to a 50-mile road. And then all of a sudden my dad's coming up and doing all these races. And then, hey, they have this race that's all gravel. It's 100 miles. It's a pretty good challenge. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, sand. All sand. And I had a beautiful bike setup that year too. It was something I'll never forget. That thing was like a rocket, and I think that was a pretty big reason of where. I mean, because it's like a momentum game. Like I started out really well, and I finished my first race, which I would say is a good thing and a bad thing. I feel like it's good for people to have non-finishers, so then they realize what it's like. You know, the meaning of wanting to come back and wanting to prove it to yourself. Yeah. Whenever we get into Marji, I got a lot of stories for that. Trust me.
You finished Marji. Mm-hmm. This year.
This year, yes. Finally.
Okay. So this is what I want to talk through. And I think it's interesting to talk through it with you because, you know, you started, were you 18?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So your introduction into this is 18 years old. Your path to finishing Marji, it wasn't like a one and done.
Nope. No, it definitely was not.
This was a journey.
Yeah. Five tries in the making.
So 5 tries. And, you know, for me, observing you through the years, because I know your dad really well and I've gotten to know you really well, it's kind of like you're like a son, you know?
I love that.
In some ways.
Yeah. I feel
because you're right in that age range. You know, my son's 20, my oldest is 22, you're 25, so you fit. So watching you, like, it's been interesting.
Oh,
you've been challenged.
Yes.
There have been hard times. Mm-hmm. I remember Marji Camp.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So you're a coach.
Yep.
And did you start coaching at 19?
18. The very first year. No, it was the very first year.
19 was the first
19,
year.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many times, I can't remember the number, how many times did you come up to coach and by the end of the first day or the next morning you were out because you were injured?
Because I was injured.
How many times did it happen?
I want to say 6 times. Five, maybe 5 times, but I want to say 6.
Do you remember the Marji Camp when I finally said to you, like, you need to get through camp uninjured?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember making it to the final day and I did a night ride and you were like, look at you on the night ride on the final night. And I'm like, yeah, I made it.
You know, I never, like, all that whole journey for you, the mishaps, getting hurt, right? Like, I never judged you. I don't judge anybody. Shit happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Life is not linear. No. It's all over the fucking board. But there was, like, I remember there was a time where we came into the year and I'm like, all right, I got to talk to Vince. Like, it's time to fucking, it's almost like in my head, you had to get through Marji Camp successfully.
Yeah. Another one, a little challenge.
Yes. Before you were going to graduate to the next step. And that's getting through Marji.
Yeah. The full 100 Marji. Yeah.
If you look back, this is sort of a big question that I'm going to ask.
All right.
If you look back, you got 7 years that you've been doing this. Mm-hmm. Can you articulate what the last 7 years or what that 7 years has meant to the person you are today?
That's a very good question. I would have to say that it has very much everything that I have to do with the way that I am nowadays. The way I was 18 to where I am now at 25, I feel like the 906 challenges has made the other challenges in my life way more of a breeze because you can learn how to handle them. I never really was taught how to handle things properly. You just kind of learned. I learned how to figure out the way it goes, and through video. And there's some evidence out there. I didn't do it properly some of the times. You know, sometimes I don't know. People were recording me, and I was straight up screaming, saying, "Todd, why are you throwing the rocks and stones around?" And
you didn't know. You didn't know you were getting recorded.
Not at all. Not whatsoever. I remember seeing the phone kind of like under like this, but I was just in the middle of. I had waited hours to cross that Lowe's line and to tell him, this is stupid. You know, what are we doing out here? And year after year and year after year, I came back and went through that whole challenge of, this is like, it's more, I think it goes more than an eye-opening experience. how it could describe me at how I am right now, I would say that I would not have confidence, or at least as much confidence that I have. I wouldn't feel like the man that I am.
Did it give you confidence that you can do hard things?
You got no idea. I could cry about that. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I went from someone who was told that doing every single thing wrong in life to then whenever you get in your own things and you start to like, go through all these little troubles, and then you get a small victory and these little victories and all this stuff, and you're like, I'm not the same person that I used to be. And I mean, there's a lot of aspects. I'm sure I'm probably going out on a rant there, but I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I look at this. 906 is my life. Everything about this, the ethos, doing hard things. I mean, I wear this shirt right here more than any other shirt in my inventory, and I make clothing for a living. It's just because of what that means to me. I remember going to Marji year after year and wearing the do hard things or don't blame me short or the hashtag unfinished business. And when you look in a mirror, you just look down and you read that and you're like, it's deeper than anything else. And I can't think or describe it or compare it to anything else in this world other than,
Do you still have the camper?
Yes. Yeah, I still do have the camper. Yeah, for other people that didn't know, I did build a 906 camper all by myself off of a pop-up frame.
He did.
It was beautiful.
Is there a picture of you by the camper?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah?
I want to say there's one.
We should see if we can find a picture of him next to his camper. And that could be the slide for this podcast.
Might be an old photo.
I remember the first time you pulled into Marji camp with that, and I was like, what the fuck is going on now?
I worked for 4 months building that thing to that day. That almost didn't happen, me driving that up. I had the brake lines in my truck fixed. Literally, it was in the shop for 6 weeks until that day before camp. I drove it up. And then they were like, you know what? We'll give you the truck back. And I was like, sweet. And then I get to show Todd what I've been working on.
Let me ask you this. Let's say, and I'm going to ask you to speculate. Let's say that your life did not have 906 and the events and all these experiences over the last 7 years. What would be different about your life today?
I wouldn't try hard things. I definitely wouldn't try hard things. Not that I always went for the easier route out, but I would look for like that middle ground, something that's a little bit difficult but convenient, and then you just kind of stick with it. 906 pretty much teaches you that you roll with the punches. There's no one who's going to save you. There's no one who's going to pull you out. Just like when you're 20 hours deep in the woods.
So that message, no one is out there to save you.
Yeah.
That's part of the self-supported ethos. It's been part of the ethos from really day one since we started using it.
And I didn't know that.
What do you think about, I'm curious because you're a younger guy. I'm an older guy.
Nah.
I feel like 906 tells people and tells the world, hey, you are on your own. Mm-hmm. Nobody's out there to save you. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like this reality check.
Yeah.
You need to, if you don't have your shit together, you need to get it together.
Yes. Yep.
You are responsible for your choices and the outcomes,
yep.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
The world doesn't seem to operate that way right now.
Not whatsoever.
Right? There's a lot of people out there that, and I think a lot of younger people buy into this, that it's always somebody else that's supposed to do the work.
Yeah.
Somebody else is supposed to take care of me. Mm-hmm. If shit doesn't work out for me, it's somebody else's fault. Certainly is not mine.
That's the big word right there.
How, what's your view on that? How do you see that? Or what? No, let me ask you this. Why or how did you buy into this philosophy when you really didn't have to? Like, you could have taken the easy path like many, many people do. Mm-hmm. You don't have to take this path.
No.
It's a very deliberate choice.
Yes.
And it's riddled with disappointment, despair, failure.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Which is what you've experienced. Injuries.
Injuries, yes.
How many injuries?
Let's on the 906 record, like through organizations, probably 10, 9 or 10. I ride hard. I don't let anything stop me. I go downhill like crazy, and sometimes my bike goes over before I do, or I go over before my bike does.
Yeah, there is absolutely no doubt from some of the stuff that you've done over the years. Like you're a great example of a kid who has gone for it, like to hell with the consequence. And there have been some consequences.
Oh yes, no, I very much appreciate that. I feel like it's very rare to actually be seen for some of the stuff that you do in this world, which I don't necessarily think that it matters. But as individuals, I feel like it's good to hear every once in a while. You know what I mean? Because I respect you, and when you say stuff like that to me, that means that what I've been doing is truly working. You know what I mean? Every single thing that I do whenever I lead up to the race, all the injuries, all the bad stuff, it's all so that whenever we get to that finish line or...
Well, you haven't played it safe.
No, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is what most people do. And they are encouraged to do it. You can find communities of people. You can surround yourself with people who will just tell you to play it safe and that somebody else should do everything for you. And it's epidemic. It's epidemic.
That's a perfect word for it.
So, kids your age, and when I say kids, it's 25. What do they think about the do hard things? What do your friends think? Do you have anybody that's like, fuck that?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people that are like, one, why would you get into that? What's the point? Even my boss in construction, he's like, I just don't get how you want to get on your bike and just ride in the worst conditions. And I'm like, you never know, and until you're out there, the beauty that you see and the stuff that you do. I have one friend that I brought up here, Evan Dengate. He's done the 50, he's done the 100. He was there for a little bit with me this year, or a little bit for the 100-mile this year. Yeah. The guy he's a perfect example of from what I grabbed here and then exposed onto him. He's like, oh, that looks really cool. I want to be able to get intrigued into it. Other people that aren't riders, like we've gotten 2 other bikers in our community that pretty much have gone into this whole 906 lifestyle. Yeah. But everyone else that we ride with are just like, fuck that. Why would we want to do that?
So is it they just don't see a compelling reason to do something that hard?
Yes.
That difficult?
Yes. Yeah. They're probably comfy enough. I mean, and I don't really know what attrospect it comes in. I think the reason why I like this type of stuff is because I've never really truly been comfortable. So I like to feel uncomfortable because that's where you feel most alive. You feel like you're living on the edge of, life and death, but it really is... it's not that the race and all that's unsafe, but there are very dangerous sections. But, you and yourself, you can either give up on this little bridge that you have here. You can give up and then, not try anything hard ever again, or you can just continue to blow through these walls that you're just riding your bike and you're just all of a sudden going through all these mental challenges that, And when you try to explain that to somebody down south, be like, hey, I think you should get into this race. I think you should try it. Not only one, there's no small race for them to come up and try. They can't just dip their feet into the water. They have to, fully dive in, head first in order for them to truly get what you want out of it. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time and your money. And there's a lot of people who sign up for this race and who want a specific spot in this who are very dedicated. Then there are some people who are just like, I'm gonna do all this, get all this training, and then I'm gonna get up there and I already know I'm gonna pull out 20 miles in. I already know I'm gonna be done halfway through because that's just how I feel like. I already told my wife she's gonna be sitting there and she's gonna pick me up with my truck. Yeah. And I feel like you just pretty much have to indulge yourself in silence. I didn't bring anybody up for me with it this year. I did it all by myself, and I think that's the reason why I finished it. Yeah. Because I knew that no one could actually save me. The very first year I did this, I remember screaming in the woods, just randomly, just to test it, just to see if anyone out there would respond or say something. And you didn't get anything back, and you're like, wow, I'm 30 miles away from the nearest town. There's nothing near here. So then who's going to keep me alive through this? It's going to be me.
Talk to me about last year. Didn't you miss the cutoff?
Yes.
At Jackson?
2 a.m. I arrived at 2:08 and saw the truck driving away with all my stuff in it. And if I would have just gotten my bag, I don't care. You guys would have taken me out of the race. I still would have finished it. But because I didn't get that last sag, I was like, man,
Describe to me the scene. Try to take yourself back to that moment. 2:08 a.m.
Can I go back a little further?
Sure. I'd love it.
Let's say 7 or 8 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. So 7 or 8 p.m. Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Okay. I come across a gentleman who had blown a chain, and I handed him my chain link, and I thought that I had more chain links. My dad and I have had conversations about this multiple times. I gave him my last chain link.
Okay.
I blew a chain about an hour after that, and then rode on the side with when I had blown the chain, I had crashed and I had messed up my left leg. So I was riding on the left side of my bike with my right leg like a skateboard and just pedaling and going through. And I knew I was looking at my watch and I said, I got to make it to Jackson by 2. I got to make it to Jackson by 2. I was like 4 hours ahead of schedule. And then all of a sudden, all these problems. And you're like, no matter what, I got to make it to Jackson. Got to make it to Jackson. And whenever I got up, I can't remember exactly what it is. Whenever you're coming up the hill and there's that roundabout and you're basically on the roads, I don't know if that rings a bell. But that was where I got a chain link, and I ended up
just from a random person.
Oh, I got it from my dad.
Oh, okay.
I got it from my dad. He didn't help me. He didn't. Oh, you got to do all this all yourself. And I was flustered, and I was moving, and I cut two links off, or too much. So I was left in one single gear, and I was like, all right, well, I got to somehow figure out how to make it to Jackson by 2:00. It's like 1:15, and I'm easily over an hour away from Jackson Park. And I tell you, when I grinded, and my watch was not correct. I thought I was there 2 to 3 minutes early, and then I pull up, and Stacy's like, "Oh, your wife, sorry," says, "Yeah, sorry, you're 8 minutes past checkpoint." And I'm like, "Please, just can you just get my bag off there? I just want to finish. I just need a little bit of fuel in there, a little bit of water, and then I'll just go right back on there. It doesn't need to count."
So you talked to Stacy?
Yeah. Oh, I talked to Stacy, and
she slammed the door on your dreams.
Oh yeah, she slammed the door on my dreams. She goes, "I don't know what to tell you. The truck's driving down the road right now."
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Sorry, Todd, the truck's leaving. You should have been in it. But then, sitting there in self-reflection for the next...
Were you mad?
I was so mad. I was mad at myself more than anything, because...
But who, like, were you mad at anybody besides yourself?
Well, of course. Sure.
Who were you mad at? Stacy?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
I wasn't even there. I didn't close the door on your dreams.
I know you didn't there. You made the rule of the 2 a.m. checkup, or the checkpoint. And I was like, man, we could not have any checkpoints. Now, when you're in a moment like that, I feel like mentally you go through a lot of these doorways of all these, like, I wouldn't say like people to blame, but there's always undersiding factors that you could just be like, oh, this is the reason. This is the reason why it didn't get done. This is the reason this, people that are totally irrelevant to the situation. But because you're just in that dark, deep mental state, and it's because you stopped writing. You know what I mean? You're not in the happy place. You're not moving. Lactic acid's building up, and you're sitting on the side of Ishpeming Road, freezing your butt off for the next couple hours while you wait for a ride to show up. Definitely a lot of time for you to sit there and go, okay, how can I make this a better experience next year? How can I finish next year? How can I make it to this point?
When did you start thinking that? Because I'm sure it wasn't at 2:10 in the morning.
About easily an hour after sitting on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, how much money, how much time have I wasted in this? I'm sitting in a full race kit. I'm wet because...
How much time and money have I wasted in this?
Yeah.
You don't want to run that math.
No, you don't.
Don't run that math.
It goes way more than just the money. I mean, the mental involvement and the mental, I wouldn't say the word stress, but it's like a mouse on a wheel in your head, and it's only getting slower and faster, and you feed it the wrong way, and it's just going to pretty much slow and stop. And that happens while you're out there, and like breaking through that, I didn't break through that. I didn't learn that lesson by 2:08 that morning. I didn't learn that lesson until this last year at Marji. 110%. When I figured out that I knew that I could be able to finish this was when I would ride through the dark of the night, and you'd get these black bellows, in between each row of trees, and you ride through, and then you shine light into the next bellow, and then it's just complete black. And I mean, it's terrifying. I'm not a wussy, but I don't like to be in a Jaguar, Cougar, high-end place like that in the dark. And when your lights aren't, as bright as you wish they were, and you're breaking through these barriers, it's like punching a hole through a roof. You're just continuously punching a hole through this fear roof. And you come to the realization that, it really is false evidence appearing real. I truly am taking it in my head and going, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. But you're just out on another bike ride. I mean, And I didn't realize that because all I did in 2024 was just hate and I just wanted to get it done. And all these people and these organizations that were counting on me, and maybe they weren't, but I felt like I had the weight of the whole entire team on my shoulders. And then all of a sudden you get to the point and you're like,
expectation.
Yes, for myself that's so high, and I have always held my expectations high for myself. I want to be an astronaut. You can't get much better in this world than that. Or I'm sorry, I don't want to be. I'm going to be an astronaut. And you can't get much better than that. I don't find a better type of human being who shows community, just like the whole ethos. You don't even have to break it down to a whole bunch of words. The ethos goes right into becoming an astronaut. There's a way you have to hold yourself above no matter what you have going through. Otherwise, you're not going to make it through it. And same thing goes with Marji. Same thing goes with life. Same thing goes through an 8-hour day of work. You know what I mean? And if you don't take it that way, or if you're just like, it's just another bike race that I did, and you didn't learn anything from it, then what was the freaking point?
Well, I think that so much opportunity from these experiences gets lost because people approach it like a race.
Yeah.
Or
like
some box they got to check, and
an Iceman.
And then they end up literally riding right by the opportunities for a lot of personal growth and change in their in their life. in Jackson Park at 2:08, 2:09, how long did it take you to not be mad at me or somebody else? How long did it take you to be like, where you cool down and you're like, fuck?
Probably when I was shivering, sitting on the curb, because I realized it's
still there.
Yeah,
so within that hour that you referenced,
because it's no one else's fault that I'm sitting there. And when you're in this moment, you just, like I said, you just formulate all these weird thoughts and these weird things going on in your head. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's many racers out there who can collaborate with that. But but when I realized, I'm sitting there in the cold, all by myself waiting for a ride to show up, I'm like, no one else did this but me. I rode for almost 9 hours on a busted leg on the opposite side of my bike so that I could make it to that point. And when you don't get the appreciation of what you did for yourself in that moment, that was when I was just mad at 2:08 to, let's say, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was just mad at myself and everyone else because I didn't realize what I had truly done. Good or bad, there was an accomplishment that was made there. That was the furthest I ever made it in years before. I didn't think about that then, because you know what I was thinking about? Making it to you by the 24-hour mark.
Why did you feel like there was expectations on you? Why did you feel that weight?
My dad is the Marji elf. That's a pretty big, very ginormous reason. They're like, whenever it comes to
self-proclaimed Marji elf.
Self-proclaimed Marji elf. I feel like a lot of my life has been just trying to prove myself, not only to him but to other people.
Just to clarify for a moment, to me, he is not the elf. He's fucking Cate.
He's just Cate. Yeah.
No, fucking Cate.
It's fucking Cate. I see. I get it.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
No, so you're good. So
the expectations coming from your dad.
Yes. I feel like that's ever since the start of life. I've always been like that. I've always just wanted to prove, no matter who it is or what it is, always just tried to prove them right or wrong. And no matter what it is, it's not like I'm. Well,
he believes in you, right?
Oh yeah. It definitely from the start of this, it was a little bit of like a concerning, but I feel like it was just another way for him to teach me the lessons of growing up.
I will tell you, as somebody who spent a lot of time with your dad.
Oh, I know it.
He has never not believed in you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
And if that wasn't true, I wouldn't say it.
Yeah, I know it.
He has never not believed in you. He did want you to have these experiences because he felt that they're meaningful, impactful experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
That will help make you a better version of Vince Cate.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. Because I mean, what other organization or thing or group or, even book nook that you can be a part of that can teach you a lesson, one lesson, let alone a whole book full?
I can tell you as a dad, and we'll say like you're my surrogate son. And
man, I'm liking this.
He, like when you're, because I've been in this situation with Cable and Gavin doing other things. I mean, Cable's done Crusher, and I mean, the first time he did Crusher was in 2020. He was like 8 or 9.
Crazy.
It's really hard when you, as a parent, when you put your children, I'm going to say, into harm's way.
Yeah, for sure. In fear's way, harm's way.
Because when you have your kids do the Crusher or the Marji or even the Polar Roll, you are putting them to some degree in harm's way because those events and those activities are inherently dangerous. You could get hurt.
Right. Yeah.
You could get seriously hurt.
It's almost a guarantee that something will happen.
Yeah. So that, just that in and of itself is a daunting decision. It's scary. Of course, you can't relay that fear or that anxiety that you feel to your child because that would be worst case scenario.
Oh, for sure. But I mean,
you want them to see confidence.
Yes.
Right. You can do this.
Right. From you, right?
Yeah. From the parent.
From the parent.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
The child needs to feel like whatever emotions we're exuding, children will absorb them.
Oh, yes.
You're not going to have a confident, independent, hardworking, doing hard things kid if you're scared shitless and anxious all the time.
Yes.
Because the kid's going to absorb that.
Right. Yeah, and then they're not going to try a single.
No, they're going to be scared shitless and never go outside.
Yeah.
They're certainly not do Marji. But it's daunting. Like I've thought about being in your dad's shoes. So how many times you've been out there trying to get it done, and it can be challenging. Because you worry.
I got a question for you. Is there any other type of experience that feels like you're throwing the bird out of the nest that you've gone through that is anything like throwing Cable into Crusher? Because I feel like there's not many real big things that you can just safely and through your mind go, all right, you got to figure that, I'm gonna let you go and figure this out. Like, you can't go and throw your kid through daycare because they're not gonna.
No,
I feel like this is one of the only ways you could truly throw your bird out of the nest and have it fly away.
There's something really, really unique and powerful about getting kids to do these events.
Right.
And I'm not saying that from a standpoint of wanting to like recruit people to do the events. We're selling out all the time. So right now, at least we don't have a shortage of people who
But
want
like
to do
the interest straight from the kids, like when I was a kid getting interested in it.
I don't think that you could, especially as a parent, if you're going to do it with your kid, like you and your dad, didn't you guys did you ride together in 18 or not? Or no, he was actually in the side-by-side.
Yeah, no, I haven't ridden any race with him. Okay. 906.
When Cate and I rode the Crusher in 2020, there's no other thing I've done with him except maybe hunting. As you were working up toward getting him to hunt alone.
Oh yeah, that's a good example too.
That whole progression.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else that I feel prepares you for the world in the way that those experiences.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're so raw.
So raw, yes.
And they break you down. Yeah. Like, when Cable was crying, I'll never forget that instance on 510. I don't know, we're like 12, 13, 14 miles from the end. And he had found his breaking point, crying that he couldn't go on. Because 510, we're in that part where you're climbing forever.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I went through the checklist with him that kind of became, semi-famous that year with, okay, so you can't go on. Well, is your arm broken? And he's like, no. Is your leg broken? No. Are you bleeding? No. Do you feel like you're going to pass out? No. Are you dying? No. I'm like, all right, you're good. Let's keep going.
Yeah. I like that. Is that why you brought it into 906 like that? Because I feel like I've seen or felt that energy through
that. Just came from that
experience.
Well, I probably brought that into that moment with him because that has been the energy that we've brought into 906.
Right, yeah.
And then he got to live it on that day.
I mean, you're humbling him at that point. You're bringing him back to reality.
Yeah.
Like, look, what are you truly crying about?
Yeah.
I wish I had someone there to tell me that.
You want to hear something crazy? I don't know if I've shared this before. So Cable has this, I'm going to say, without question, the hardest day of his life, that day in August, doing the Crusher, 56 miles or whatever it is. Hardest day of his life. Biggest victory of his life when he finished and he rolled in the Forestville and his mom's there and his grandma and grandpa are there.
Coolest feeling ever, isn't it?
Coolest fucking feeling ever. Yep. On the way home, he has to have McDonald's, right? He's living like a fucking champion.
Yep.
We walk in the door and he's just like, I just want to shower and I want to like lay in bed and play Xbox for the rest of the night. But we walk into his bedroom and his guinea pig's dead.
Oh no! Oh my god!
I am dead serious, dude. No, I mean, he went from like, the biggest battle royale he's ever been in, winning the world championship, going home and finding his poor guinea pig dead.
Just passed away.
Just
oh my god,
stiff as a board.
Was this like a feeding issue? You guys are too busy in the race.
No
priorities game.
No, so he had 3 guineas. And this one had some physical issues right from the get-go when we bought it. It was kind of the runt of the litter.
Rescue. Look at you guys. Great.
And so like he went from king of the mountain, top of the world, high point of life to burying his guinea pig.
Yeah.
And isn't that how life is?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about that.
What's that saying? There comes a point I guess it doesn't really correlate to it, but there comes a point in life where life stops giving you things and starts taking them away.
Yeah.
And maybe that was a point where he was given something and then it was a give and take. Something had to be taken from that. You wanted to be victorious. You want to move on, or maybe not move on, but I don't know, maybe not the right word for that. But
yeah, I get what you're saying. Or the fucking guinea pig just died.
Yeah, or it was just a matter of time.
It just happened to be that day,
yeah.
Which was terrible timing. And it's kind of like to that whole thing of talking about, life isn't fair and like, oh, that's not fair that happened. It's like, it's not a fair issue.
Yeah.
Like, it just sucks.
Yeah.
It actually would have sucked on any day.
Yeah.
It's just that it has kind of like a triple suck to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it just ruins a moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Well, it might not have been that bad of a suck because he just finished the Crusher that same day, but I can't imagine what went through his mind at that point,
Yeah, so wild. So wild. So, okay, talked about last year. Did you have So this year you finished. When did you leave Jackson the second time? Like, how close were you to the cutoff?
And an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours early, I want to say.
Oh, so you were.
You had
a good
maybe
pad.
It was about an hour before. Yeah, I was moving way better than I in years prior before. I had felt the best. I had looked the best. That I remember going to JP2 and being like, I'm ready to do this all over again. Like, for some reason, you just have this weird energy involvement. And then I remember within the last 5 miles, my dad talked to me and he's like, I'm like, I'm out of this. I'm so over it. I'm so, like, it's been such a long freaking day. And the rain, the conditions this year were just brutal, man. I don't wish that on anybody, but at the same time,
they're only brutal if you finished after dark.
Yeah.
Because everybody who finished before dark said it was the best conditions of any year ever.
Yeah, no rain. Yeah, here's us. We were sliding down the hill. I had my bike strapped on top of my head for most of it, and you're just letting your body go down this mudslide because you can't ride down it and you can't walk down it. So you got to get to the bottom at some point. I mean, your shoes, your kit, everything about it. I changed to JP2. Was it JP? No, it was JP2. I switched over to flats. Alway, so thankful for Alway because my tool was not working, and he's like, get this, I'll crank them out, put some flats on you. Worst decision I ever made. I will never do that ever again.
You changed pedals.
I changed pedals and shoes.
And you would not.
I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I ride on Specialized Recon 2s. It's a very solid shoe or cleat.
I have those.
And they have that carbon sole in the bottom that does not allow your foot to move around or shift or really, bend whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
it's a great shoe.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I've ran on that specific pair 3 Marjis on them, and they still haven't been destroyed. You know what I mean? Like, sure, they're getting destroyed, but they're just not there yet.
Yeah.
And when you switch over to regular shoes and this whole sliding and movement thing going on, and everyone's like, oh, you're going to be doing a lot more walking in the second, after JP1 or JP2. I thought so as well. And then after I got out there and did it, I'm like, I really wish I had my race cleats back on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments where you wish that you could pull in your pulls. And I think I ended up giving myself a form of planters or something. My feet are still numb. I still don't feel my toes since I left JP2 like that. I still haven't gotten that back yet. That's
months ago.
Yes, months ago. Yes. And
have you been to the doctor?
No, but I definitely should because I think I'm losing blood circulation. That's for sure. But it was all because of those shoes. Because I remember my feet always, you taking a step or whatnot, and like the shoes here, and your foot sliding like this in and out of it. And I never would have thought that would have been a problem. I was wearing, they were Cross Kings, Solomon's Cross Kings. They're made for hiking, and they have these like fingers on the side that grab your foot. So I was like, I should be good. It should just be like a regular cleat. And it did not work out that whatsoever. And I think that was personally because I didn't train for that. So stick from your regimen to your training, because
don't change mid-race.
That was pretty much on the right before the drive up. I was like, you know what, I'll bring it just in case, because if my feet are really just going that bad. And I thought I felt great whenever I changed my shoes until about an hour into changing your shoes, and you're like, whoa. And then the mud and the rain started, and then you're not getting any traction as what you used to. You can't get on the bike the same way. There's a lot that went into it.
What did it feel like coming down Main Street Ishpeming this year? Can you describe it?
I don't think I could exactly have the right words. I made it to Jasper's Knob, and I almost had the same type of setting that my dad did. And I pretty much did the same exact thing that my dad did. You remember when in 2018 he sat on Jasper and just decided to call you? He called me. He called Danny. Oh, he texted you?
Yeah.
He called me, and he's calling Danny. And then he's like, all right, you're like, get your ass down
here.
I
texted him back, and I said, get your fucking ass down here. We want to go home.
Yeah. I mean, oh, man. So I pretty much did the same thing. I sat up on Jasper and just kind of took it all in. Because like that's the whole point of the race, at least for me. Jasper's Knob, the whole Marji Gesick, the whole story behind all of it pretty much brings you to that one solid granite rock. And I think there's a reason that we have to climb up it. I ride my bike up it. Is it really?
That's where it started.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, Jasper Knob is a big part of the iron history of the region, right? They had thought that was the shining mountain.
Okay.
That they thought was going to be full of ore, and it ended up that that there is some ore in it, but it wasn't high enough grade, and then eventually they went to Jackson Pit, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, then okay.
But the original race finished on Jasper Knob the first year.
Oh, really?
2015.
Oh, I didn't know that. So not in town, but on top of Jasper.
On top. So they had a party or something, an after party downtown at Cognition that year that we told everybody about at the finish line on top. So people would go down, but yeah, the finish line was up there. So that's why it's sort of paying honor to sort of where it started or where it originally ended.
Oh, for sure.
That's why we go up there.
And I feel like that spot is not for you to really venture unless you're in the middle of a race. Like I would not openly go up there and just walk up Jasper's Knob. It just doesn't have the same feeling. It took me 24 hours and 26 minutes to make it to that point. And the feeling, I guess, coming down Jasper's, because I rode my bike all the way to the top of it. I thought that was a requirement. Turns out that it's not a requirement. And I'm glad that I did it because the downhill ride I got from that was it was better than any other downhill ride anywhere.
That is a requirement.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, good thing I rode my bike all the way to the top.
But didn't we talk about this? People leaving their bike at the base of Jasper?
Yeah, we talked about maybe putting
game cameras.
Please.
Game cameras and then live streaming it.
Yes.
I warned probably 6 people, and I said, just go back and grab your bike, because I'm pretty sure they said that.
That's unforgivable.
Right on it.
You've come that far.
Yes.
Honor the event. Honor the whole culture. Bring your goddamn bike to the top.
It's the last hill. Literally, it's all downhill from here. That saying actually comes into fruition right there. It's all downhill from here once you actually climb Jasper's. And I mean, there's the bin at the top, and everyone's just, slowly. And I'm like, it's all about that heat, that pain in your legs that one last time, because you don't get to do this for a whole nother year. You don't even get to really train the same type of way, than me. I could never replay the emotions of me riding up that hill, because I know what Jasper looks like. And when you're riding up this, single grade that's like this, unlike a lot of the rest of it out there, you just you know what has come and what has gone. The type of person that I was before climbing up that rock and the type of person I am coming down it. In the Marine Corps, they have what's called the Crucible. It's one of the very last things you could do at Camp Pendleton, and it's basically it's a full, I think, 2 days long or 48 hours of you're not falling asleep, you're doing drills, and then you have to climb this very last rock with all your rucksack, everything you got on you. It's probably over 100 pounds worth of weight, and you're climbing up a hill that's at this angle. And if you don't do it, then you don't get the honor.
Yeah.
You don't get the actual appreciation of saying that, like me, myself, I know that I did 110% of that race. No shortcuts, no walk. I mean, it's less walking as I could do downhills, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the whole feeling of riding up and down that last granite rock, and you getting down to the main road, and I think at this point, what time is it? 24 hours and 30 minutes. You cut it off at what, 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning?
8:30 is the cutoff.
I think the sun was just about fully up then, and there was probably some locals that were walking down the road, and I think they were Marjiers, and they were, oh, you did, and I was like, I completely lost it. I think I fell off my bike because I was crying so much. This is 5.
Who fell off your bike? Where were you?
The bridge, the guardrail right before you make the right-hand turn.
Yeah.
I think I fell off my bike there, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here. And I called my girlfriend. I was like, look, I did it. I finally made it. This is after I called everybody on Jasper's Knob, which is not a little point. And then I felt like I needed a second because I had 30 minutes to kill pretty much. So it's like
30 seconds to kill.
And that feeling there, I thought it was going to be a lot more emotional. I'm not going to lie to you. I tried to pull more tears out because I knew what it meant.
Yeah. Well, crying or not crying doesn't necessarily add to what it meant or didn't mean.
Oh,
right?
yeah. But like for me, myself, the amount of crying I did because of pain and because I was purposely giving up on myself, all those moments, it all came into fruition. And like, as I'm saying, as I'm coming down Jasper's Knob, you're getting all the years prior and all the little individual little things that have just, pushed to this point. It's like in a movie, and you're seeing all these fast clips of all these things that are just like, keeps your head hanging low, and you're like, God, and then finally you have this one reason. The whole reason for all of this is riding down these 2 roads right here. You know what I mean? Screaming as loud as I can, trying to cry, going through orange guardrails and pulling up to the finish line. It was like a big weight was lifted, but at the same time, it was like I started a whole new venture of way more harder things. Like there was way more to life that I would have thought of before even finishing that race.
Did you know that you had all the checkpoints when you got there? When you got to the finish line?
No. Yes and no. It's always a guessing game because obviously my dad's involved with it, and I don't get to hear anything. I don't know anything about how many tokens, where they're at, where they're going to be, how many they're going to be, what they are going to be.
Secrecy.
Yeah, for sure. And whenever you get down to that point, and then the way you guys just go through it, you're like, oh, okay, you're good.
Where did you keep your tokens?
I wear 2 different types of packs, and they both have zippers on the side pouches. I never open that one side pouch unless it's to give you guys or to grab from the bin. Like there's no food or anything that goes into it. I will never ever risk losing my stuff.
So you have a token system.
Yeah, token system, and I don't grab more than one. That's for sure. I know of many people out there, or maybe not many. I know of at least 2 people out there who have hold on to tokens and handed them out, and you're like, hey, you cannot do that. Like,
yeah, no,
you got to go back and go get your. No matter what I tell them, I'm not going to sit there and give up a couple hours of my race to make sure they go back and grab one of those tokens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if somebody's not doing it the right way, I've always taken this approach with the events. If you have an honor problem, that's not my problem.
100%.
You know, like if you didn't do it the right way, or if you cut a corner. And you're out there saying that you finished, but you didn't necessarily do it the right way.
Right, yeah, like a little shortcut, 10 miles off the route that,
People who, end up, whether it's on purpose or not, like I don't judge if what the intent is, but if somebody cuts the course.
Yeah. And
we know they did because it gets brought up to us. Mm-hmm. But they go out and tell stories like they didn't.
Yes, right.
Okay. That's on you.
Issue.
I mean, you're going to have to answer for that someday.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm not here to hold you accountable.
Well, I feel like it's part of the whole honesty thing. 906 is honesty.
It does, exactly.
Because, you can't go anywhere else and honestly put the work in to get results out. Yeah. You can't honestly pick up tokens and come up with this stuff and come to the finish line with, and hand it to you and just expect to get a finisher token. I mean... It's not like you check our GPX files, but you very much could. You know what I mean? Like, and there might be people who have done 89 miles in a 116-mile race, but you just won't know, and it's all down to an honesty system.
Well, we had the guy from Pennsylvania 3 years ago. He was doing the 50. He won the 50.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Mm-hmm. He won it. Mm-hmm. And then that night, somebody sent me his Strava ride and screenshots.
Oh,
and he didn't follow the course.
Oh, my God.
So I had to get a hold of him and talk to him and ask him, like, hey, somebody sent me your ride link, and I looked at it. You want to tell me what happened? Mm-hmm. And he told me.
Oh, that's good, at least.
But he ended up, here's the thing. Like, he won it. He did not follow the course. We ended up having to, push him down to the bottom of the results. Mm-hmm. But the dude rode, like, 85 miles.
Holy cow.
He had 85 miles. And he still was the first guy in on the 50.
That's a rider for sure. Holy cow.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
So you're right. We're not going out and looking at ride files. Mm-hmm. We do. There's some people out there that like to be the little Marji police. It's almost like they're looking to try to rain on somebody's parade. Sure. And they'll send me a link or a ride. And, oh, look, he didn't, she didn't do this or he didn't do that. And if we get sent it, I do have to act on it.
Yeah, right.
I do have to dig into it, investigate it. Mm-hmm. I've had to move some people down in the standings because of it.
That's terrible.
But I don't know why people spend a bunch of time doing that.
Yeah. Why cheat the system? Why even try to
there's 2 sides to it. So
or like accidents and whatnot.
So let's take the rider. Mm-hmm. It's plausible that somebody might cut the course unknowingly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. It's also plausible that somebody does it knowingly.
Right.
But that should be left to them to reconcile.
Right.
So I don't want to be the judge and jury.
Right. I bet you don't. Yeah.
Because it's at the end of the day, this whole thing is about more than where you finished.
Yeah.
It's about how you finish and, the experience and everything you've like the failures, the experience of failure. That's what it's really about.
For sure.
The challenge. Mm-hmm. But it's the people that are most perplexing to me are the ones that feel like they need to go spend time investigating people's rides. I kind of feel like these people are doing it because they want to feel better about themselves.
Yeah. Or maybe more connected.
Or they want to, like, if that person beat them, like they want to discredit them.
Yep. I can totally see that.
It's a pretty weak move.
In the biking world, you just get weird people like that. Like I don't know if 906 accounts for any UCI points or any MSMBC or whatever.
I don't even know what UCI stands for.
Yeah.
Is that like an infection in your private?
No, I think it is. It's a bladder infection.
Are you serious? The UCI, United Cycling Institution? That's like the professional. Nino Schurter's a UCI racer. You know.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Interesting. Okay, so it's like professional racing, and like there's a lot of like Iceman and Or to Shore. Those races count for points towards national titles, and you get to national races based off. I don't know exactly for sure, but I've heard that, and that's why a lot of people take Iceman in a whole different serious manner, and they'll do like what you're talking about. Just because they lost by someone by 5 seconds, they're gonna dig into their ride completely. Oh, they're doing this illegal, this illegal. Check them for steroids, make sure. And I mean that's a big thing with Iceman too. All of those pros, they get tested before and after their race. Like that's a really, really, really big deal.
Yeah, there was a steroid thing years ago down there.
Yeah, I remember 2017 or I think 2017, first Iceman. Not everyone had to go through, but I remember that was when they started the racers behind the amateurs, and then they just, whenever you got to a single track like choke point, you had all these racers who were just barreling past all these people who were racing for the first time, and it just was too serious for too common of an area thing. Yeah. I feel like it's a good thing that 906 doesn't necessarily have that, because like I love the elite crowd you guys bring in. My biggest mentors have came from the people you've brought to me that I've seen in camp that I followed behind. Jeremiah Bishop, Matt Acker. I love Matt Acker. I want to be like Matt Acker every single day of the week, even down to, I wish I could, like be so enclosed like he is. And
you need to work on the beard.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. I got a little bit of mustache going on, but I got to shave my head too, and maybe I could be in that friend group.
You're young. There's still hope.
But like some of those guys, like watching Matt come up and down these things, or you're going through Wildcat or Pine Knob, and you're like, I know for a fact Matt rides this, and he doesn't stop. He doesn't think twice about it. And I feel like a big reason of the race that I did this year was because of influences like that. At least for me, because if Matt can do that, how come I can't do it? Anybody can do it. It's just a matter of
it's a bar to work toward.
Yeah, and the having those people around and even getting to talk with them, like back when we brought Tinker up for Tinker Juarez. I mean, he's a mountain biking god. I mean, he's one of the godfathers of cross country racing, and the conversations that I was able to have with them, and the avenue he showed me that is truly capable. And he's a guy who came from basically nothing, and he showed this world his true potential. And now look where it's got him. You know what I mean? He gets invited to big races, and he lives in California. Still in the UCI track, still a professional mountain biker. And the guy's like
in his 60s.
Exactly, and like that's where I want to be. I want to have no excuses, like whatsoever. I came into this organization with excuses. By my 4th year, easily left with no excuses. This last year, I have no excuse for anything else in this world, and no one can stop me. No one. I mean, I can't stop myself. Okay,
you could stop.
I could very much stop myself. I still very much go through these mental moments.
I feel like you're the only thing that could stop yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because like even after Marji, and you're at home dealing with interpersonal issues, and you're like, wow, like this is terrible. Could be worse. I could be riding in Marji right now. I have thought about that multiple times. Like, it could always be worse. And like the pain that you feel here, it was more painful at some point during that day, or when you're just trying to like, I don't understand how I lived life the way I did before that. I don't know how. And I feel like that's a part of the whole new person type of thing, is it's almost like you're stepping into these new shoes that you don't really know how to fill, but every single day you wake up and you fill them. Like, and
that's life.
Yeah. And that's something I was never taught. I never knew until I literally learned it from your races, which is crazy, because who would have thought a mountain bike race could actually teach you life lessons? And
yeah, I
feel like that's the thing that nobody gets out of this whole thing is like, I feel like that should be a big thing, is how a bike can actually teach you life lessons. I mean, no one would ever think about it. When my boss and I talk about riding my bike, well, you just go and casually ride your bike for 30 miles, and you're like, well, yeah, not only is it training, but I enjoy doing it. And the stuff that you see, like, I could, and I'm not saying this in any way, but I could pass away tomorrow and be very happy with the stuff that I've experienced and seen throughout those races. Stuff that you couldn't get there unless you brought yourself to that point. Yeah. Like scenic overlook. That I've almost fallen off that cliff one time, and I've sat.
You're talking to Marji?
Yeah, during Marji.
You're talking panorama?
That's it. Yeah, not scenic overlook. Yeah, panorama. Yeah. The really tight, making a right hand. You have a ledge, and it's nothing. That spot right there, I feel like is only for the eyes of some people. Like top of the world in Mount Marquette, everyone can drive there and take a look at it and go and be like, oh, take a picture. What is it? Not scenic overlook. Panorama. When you get to that point, you almost want to just sit there for a minute, because you're like one with nature at that point. You're living in the wind. this is as rustic as you could get. You could go back in the 1800s and the same type of person stood in that same spot and probably thought the same exact type of thing that you're thinking. And it's like one of those things you can't take away, but one of those things you just can't teach. You know, I can't teach anyone, hey, you got to go to Panorama. They're not going to know the reason why, and until you get there and you realize it. My very first year at camp, when I realized that, I was like, wow, like this is worth it. Like all of this is worth it. All these hours of just struggling and pain and oh my God, my legs and oh my God, my head and I'm a failure and I'm this and I'm that, and then you get to something like that and it kind of humbles you a little bit. But I feel like not enough.
Makes you feel small.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like all these little things that you do. It's like unraveling a bunch of little starbursts or a bunch of little dum-dums. You're never.
Have you been up on Panorama in the winter?
No. Is there a part of Polar Roll? It is? Oh, I can't wait then. That's going to be a lot of fun. This will be my first year for Polar Roll.
Oh, so you're signed up?
Yeah, I'm going for my Triple Crown. At least that's my goal this year.
That's good. Yeah, I love it in the winter.
I've never been up here in the winter. Like I said, I'm from Metro Detroit, so we don't.
You haven't been up here in the winter at all?
No.
Oh, you're about to open up a whole new chapter.
Oh, I'm sure. I hear about that. I hear the snow drifts get bigger than vehicles, than houses at sometimes.
When you get to see things that you see the other 3 seasons in the blanket of winter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like another planet.
Really?
It's like you've just gone into another dimension.
Man.
You know?
I can't wait for it. I know that's going to be a fun one because I've never really, in all honesty, that's a very big challenge for me.
Yeah.
I do not like riding in the wintertime. I am not good with the cold. I'm a guy from Texas. I don't necessarily like to ride in the cold, but that's one of those, you get over that hill whenever you get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a fear that I have, and I'll break through it after I get done with this first race, probably, or maybe after a couple years of doing the race. You know, I think that's part of the reason why it kind of intrigued me too. Same thing with like when I did the 225 EX. I did it with Jason Barnes and
was it Jeff?
Yes, Jeff Richards. Man, oh, thank you. He would have killed me. Those guys, they took me under their wing and made everything possible that we could have. I woke up that morning and my tent was completely soaked and the only dry spot was under my pillow. And I still got up and drove to the race start with my wet bibs and everything and rode for, I want to say it was like 8 or 10 hours or something like that. And then my tires, I just couldn't keep up with them. I was following their breadcrumbs and it just wasn't safe. I didn't have the GPX and they were all basically following. And I remember that being the biggest fear factor of my life because like it's not good conditions out. That day it was pouring rain. And
was this 20 or 21?
20.
Okay.
Yeah,
COVID.
I want to say it was 20. Yeah.
COVID year.
It was the very first year for EX, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I remember the 225 was like a new big thing. And I remember being all hyped for it. It was like one of the biggest things I'd ever really signed. Obviously, the biggest thing, the longest race I'd ever signed up for. And I was totally prepared to be out there for the 36 or 48 hours, whatever it was. I was not mentally or physically prepared for that race.
Well, the Crusher experience is a different experience than Marji.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. See, like me, myself, I feel like Marji, you just got to have a good head on your shoulders and almost anybody can finish that race as long as you just do not quit. Like, not that I don't train because I do train and just like, not Gary, like, who spoke at camp this year? Not Gary Durant. He looks like Gary. These guys, I swear, I've raced with him for years. Eddie Carroll. Eddie Carroll works every single day of his life. See, I'm same exact guy as him. We do construction, and when you're working out 8 to 10 hours a day, you don't necessarily need to train 6-7 days a week. Where it falls in the mentality of you just got to get out there and do it. The 5 previous years that I did the race, I did not get out there and do it. I got out there and had expectations that I was going to do something, but I never ever expected myself to finish, nor did I want myself to finish. All I wanted to do was prove myself. And then it became more than just that. This last year was when you really I came to the realization that it's more than just proving.
So you're trying to prove yourself again, going back to that whole expectation piece?
Yeah, proving myself to myself. I have weird mental times where I feel like I'm not capable enough, like I'm not good enough. And I feel like that's my way to keep myself at a higher standard. And even though I don't necessarily want to do that, or I don't notice that I'm doing it, but I do it. And accepting it is, part of the relief of it and trying to learn how to deal with it and to work around that is a new thing that I'm trying for sure. But it's definitely different than what it was for me. I don't know. It's really hard to explain for me.
Let's talk about the video.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
So the video, the Marji Gesick video, went viral, right?
Yeah.
I feel like at some point that video took on a life of its own. That I think it started as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
It feels somewhere in there like it turned a little bit because people get into the comments.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. I remember reading, and I remember talking to you about a whole bunch of people that were, like, this isn't how our organization is. People aren't supposed to be like this. But then you came to me and said, they're probably saying that because they're probably feeling the same exact way that you are, but they're not going to not say have the balls to put it out there, talk about it. Not because I really didn't know I was talking about it.
Right.
But a lot of people, and that's what I've just taken out of is what you told me. A lot of people probably think that same exact way. A lot of people were probably saying the same exact stuff as you, but no one necessarily wanted to. You know what I mean? And like, whenever I said and did all that, for one, that was a relief off my back whenever I told him all that, because I was like, you know what? It's whatever. F you, I'm going back on my bike and I'm just going to get back and continue riding this race. But I just needed to tell somebody, you know what I mean? And I feel like, a lot of these people, they either don't talk about it or they just give up. Like if I wouldn't have talked about it then, I would have given up right then and there. I remember making it to NTN, and that was pretty much where I knew that physically I had nothing left in me. I didn't even have enough physical energy to complain about anything anymore. I just couldn't stand up straight. But when I was at Lowe's, I had enough energy to sit there and scream and complain. I don't know why. Maybe it was because of fear, and it truly was the definition of false evidence appearing real in my head. Like, it truly was appearing real in my head. Because you get these little close calls, and you're like, man, this is so unsafe. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? What's the whole point of this? And, like, you never really realize that you already have the answers to your questions. But you just, like, are so naive to not be able to actually see it. And, like, that's why I talk about this year a lot, was just big for me, because I actually enjoyed being on the bike. I normally do not enjoy being in big races, not necessarily like, because it's serious for me. It's not like I'm there to have fun. I don't have much money in this world, and I spend all of it on pretty much making challenges come true, or accomplishments that I have come true. And so when you're failing, or you feel like you could have done way better or something completely different, it just changes everything in you. And when you're out there on those trails, it's like it's like God won't let you let go of it in a way, because you just, lactic acid in your brain, whatever it is that's just causing you to think negatively. And it's so hard to pull out of that ditch. It's so hard to pull out of that ditch. This year I did, though.
Failing. I just wish people would kind of just reframe a little bit. Failing is learning.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So, but we get too hung up on, I had this goal to do this. I didn't do it. I failed.
Right.
Well, it's really not the case. I mean, if you don't quit, if you don't stop pursuing whatever you set out to do, then you didn't fail, right? You don't fail until you quit.
Right.
Until you stop pursuing.
Truly give up on it. Stop going.
Until you just give up.
Yeah. So like you're saying, I don't come back 2026. It's like you're never going to feel the succession.
Right.
It,
that's the biggest thing. Like, just look at failing as learning. It's the long way to doing what you set out to do.
Yeah, right.
And honestly, I mean, in a lot of ways, taking the long way to get there, you're just actually gathering more information.
Yeah.
Than people who take a more direct, shorter route to it.
Yeah.
They're still going to have to learn a lot of the same things you learned, but it looks like they're going to have to do it at a different place at a different time.
Yeah, right.
Like, I got back into bow hunting this year.
I've been watching that.
And it is amazing, because I bow hunted 30 years ago.
Okay.
I've been rifle hunting, forever with cable. Got away from bow hunting for a lot of reasons, like just life.
Yeah,
family.
Right. But now you have a reason. You and your son go and hang out.
He wants to do it, so now we're doing it.
It's beautiful.
Getting back into that space of bow hunting, I could write a book on the shit that I've done wrong in the last 3 months hunting, or just the things that didn't go well, or I did this and it's like, oh, well, that didn't fucking work, right?
Yeah.
It's just all part of that process of development and kind of relearning it. And the sooner that you can actually learn to welcome that experience.
Right. Yes. Instead of fight it.
Instead of fighting it and pushing it away and trying to avoid it. Like the sooner you can actually get comfortable with, laughing at making mistakes and being like, wow, man, that was stupid. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do that again. Like, the sooner you can get there, the better off you are.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like a debt thing. Like, you pretty much are building up your own debt in your body until one day you finally either get it paid off or you get your payoff out of it. You know what I mean? I also find it kind of awesome that you yourself, where you're at in your life, you still are seeking to learn and be better and to do new things and to be better at stuff that you were previously. I feel like that's very valid, and that's a big reason why I myself follow you. Even though you don't try to go for this whole Messiah thing, but to a lot of us, you're like a god. But we're
careful with that.
Small G,
with a T, with a T, T. Todd. Well, so to that point, I'll share this with you. I've been running 906 since 2014, and what people not jokingly, a lot of times through the years, people are like, do you ride the events or do you get to do it? And to me, it's insane that anybody would ask me that, because I am the race director,
right?
The director of adventure, the executive director, whatever word you want to use for my title.
And you're the face behind it. You can't be racing it.
Right. And the only year that I did, which happened to be the 2018 Hammer, was the year that I learned on top of Arvon why I can't. Because, I'm standing on top of Arvon that year that it rained.
Yeah.
Middle of July, it's raining all day, 50 degrees. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm up there with Michelle Basil is up there. Wyatt Clement is there. I think Lisa Thompson was there.
Oh, all the solids.
Acker, Jenny might have been there.
Oh, that's a good one.
So there's a group of people on top of Arvon. This is way back in the beginning. Okay. Everybody's freezing their ass off. Everybody's like near hypothermic.
Yep.
And I'm standing up there. I'm the race director, but I'm in it right now as a participant.
Right.
And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, they have no idea what they're headed into. This is 3:30 in the afternoon. And the conditions were borderline dangerous. They weren't to Lance yet. And I knew that when they left Lance, they were going into the unknown after dark. So I ended up, I can't remember who picked us up, but Wyatt and Michelle were going back to town. They were pulling out on top of Arvon. I hopped in the car with them, and I pulled out of the race. Went back to Marquette, got a pickup, got somebody to hop in with me, and then we ran support the rest of the night, through the night.
Okay.
Saw your dad out there, saw Chad out there, made sure everybody was okay, which is what I should do.
Yeah, right,
That's
right.
my fucking
so
job.
that was when you realized it. That my job is to support and make people safe and not necessarily suffer with everybody else.
Yeah, not like those days are your day.
Yeah, right.
And I'm there to honor that day, to be part of it in whatever way, whatever role I can play in it.
And who's to say when you're making the GPX file that you're not already riding this race 10 times throughout the year?
Well, up until a couple of years ago, every course was covered by bike.
Yeah,
and
I believe it.
They've become so big and so aggressive that we got that side-by-side.
Yeah. That side-by-side's perfect, man.
Now we do a lot of recon on the side-by-side and Paul Heighton on a motorcycle, because you just can't get it all done.
Yeah. Didn't you? You used to have a couple of people out there on like cross country mount or like dirt bikes and whatnot. Like
we've had dirt bikes go out and.
I remember Crusher. I can't remember who it was, but he almost like stuck with us because we were going through some swamp. Was it this mosquito swamp or mosquito? I forget what it is.
Mosquito Gulch.
Gulch. Yep. And he was pretty much either sagging or picking up stuff, making sure everyone was okay. And everyone was getting off directed that year because of how big of the water puddles there were everywhere. And he pretty much just directed us right through it. And I was like, man, those are probably really useful for our mountain bike races. But at the same time, you probably can't have them like necessarily on the trail. You know what I mean?
No.
So there's probably limitations. You guys bring it side by side to a trail. You're not taking it on the trail.
Yeah, you can only take it where it's legal to take it.
Yeah, right. So whenever you guys are doing picture in direction signs and whatnot, what do you guys use for that? Just ride on bikes?
Picture and direction signs.
Like, I mean, for wrong way, blame Todd, blame Danny during the race. I'm talking.
Yeah. What about them?
Are you guys like doing that all on foot, like the whole week before?
Oh, you mean signing?
Yeah, signing itself.
It's on foot or on bike.
That's crazy. So you guys don't take anything out there with you. So you're pretty much suffering just as much as we are putting up and taking
well,
down
when we're
space.
out there, I mean, I've you feel like when I've marked now, I haven't signed the last 2 years.
Oh, that's right. I think it's my dad's job, isn't it?
He's been doing it, and then we have a team that does it. But like, I would fill the 2 panniers on the back of my bike with signs.
Oh my gosh!
And then that top pack would have the stapler in there with the signage.
Yeah, right on.
So everybody's got a different way they're doing it.
So like nowadays, when you're making these GPXs, are you doing more or less like online surveillance, in-person surveillance, like local talk?
Well, for Marji, that GPX is essentially done.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
I mean, it essentially is, because
you can't get much better than that.
It can't change that much.
No. Otherwise, going through like Green or Richmond Township or something like that over there.
No.
No.
Now, Crusher gets redone every year.
Okay.
And we cover every square foot of the route in person, side by side, motorbike.
Yeah, it's I guess a little easier for that one too.
If that's not allowed, then we would be on a mountain bike.
Right. Okay.
Everything gets covered.
Right on.
Because it has to.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are making those yourself, the whole GPX file?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, what you can do is, I'll give you for example, we'll sit down, we'll look at a map. You can look at Strava heat maps. You can look at ride files you have. You create a route. Mm-hmm. So you draw the route.
Right on. Okay.
And then you give people the route to go and start doing the recon, which they have to do in person so you're running the route.
Right, as if you're racing it.
Basically. As if you're racing it or riding it. And then when they're done, they send us their ride file. And then so we'll get these ride files, let's say 10 of them,
mm-hmm.
and you put them against your original concept file. And that's what helps you create an accurate event file.
Right on. Okay. So like timestamps where you should be safety checkpoints. And whatnot.
Well, it's more just trail accuracy.
Okay.
Because all these head units have varying degrees of accuracy.
Yeah, for sure.
You and I could ride together. I could have a 1030. You could have an 830. Mm-hmm. There could be somebody with a Wahoo. And the routes can look somewhat different.
Right. Okay.
Because the accuracy of the unit itself with the GPS.
Oh, it actually picks it up.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Going back, stepping back to what we were talking about. So when you're talking about, continuously trying to learn new things, do new things, challenge yourself. Mm-hmm. In 2020, when COVID happened
mm-hmm.
and EX started,
mm-hmm.
so all of a sudden there was a window of time where I started riding.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
A ton. Because I could.
Nothing else you could do. Yeah.
There,
right.
We were on a whole new format of an event. We couldn't do in-person events. And I also felt like we needed to be out sort of leading by example, mm-hmm. particularly that year. And then into 21, showing people a path through what was a really difficult time.
Yeah. Right.
So I was riding a lot. He and I did that first ride, for around the UP, 1,000 miles or whatever it was. The whole way that came up is for years we had talked about, we got to do a ride around the UP. When I say we, it would be like me, Chris Anderson, mm-hmm. different people who've been part of the organization in the past.
Yeah, right.
So it was kind of like this dream route. We got to ride around the UP. But you think about it as a dream mm-hmm. at that point. Well, COVID comes and it's August-ish. We're getting toward the end of EX, mm-hmm. or EX is going to be done at the end of September. And I'm like, well, what are people going to have to do after September 30th?
Right.
What's going to keep them kind of in the game, entertained? And that's when I was like, well, fuck it. We got the time. Let's draw this route. So Matt Beardsley was involved. We drew the route. I think the day that we were finalizing the route, he called me. Mm. I got that right?
Yeah. Called, left you a message.
So
text an hour later.
I want to join. The picture, right? The picture of the route?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at 231 West on Washington Street.
Okay.
This is 2020, someday in August 2020. Matt and I are sitting at the counter working on the route. Google images, drawing routes and shit, getting it done. Phone rings. I grab it. Oh, Psalm. Oh, I'll call him back when we're done with this. Set it back down. Get it done. Text him the picture. Turns out that's what he was calling me about.
Oh, really?
Because I think I had alluded to it.
Yeah, when we were reconning.
We had talked about it during the Crusher recon ride in May.
Yeah, we were talking about a bike packing trip. So, I'm thinking couple-day trip, long weekend kind of thing.
Couple days, 14 days later.
Yeah. Well, this first one was 10 days, right?
10 days, wow.
Well, that's what, that was my
that was your window.
That was my window, yeah.
So, yeah, he was calling kind of like, hey, remember what we talked about in May? Are we doing that thing? And I was literally just finishing up the route.
On it, yeah.
Ironic timing. So we get together, we talk about it. He's got 10 days. So we felt feasibly, we drew together like 1,000-mile route that went from the tip of the Keweenaw around the UP and then ended like at the mouth of the Huron. Yeah. Is where the route would have ended. As it played out, we only made it to Marquette. We were like a day short.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, we were a day short. Through all of the shit that we went through, it's actually kind of amazing that we only ended up a day off pace.
And this is Adventures you're talking about here, right?
This
is different than Adventures.
This is the
precursor of it
to
the
Project Adventures, right?
Right on. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess where I'm going with this is I was riding a lot. We did that. Then we didn't quote finish it. Mm-hmm. Felt like we had unfinished business on a fucking 1,000-mile route.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So we immediately planned to do it again, but now we're like, okay, let's plan to do the whole UP. So it ended up being close to, it was 1,650 miles.
That's wild.
Is that right?
Yeah, about that.
And you guys did that?
17 days.
That's crazy.
Well, through doing it though, this is a very long way coming from where you were talking about different things I've done. You know what started to happen? Through all of the riding I was doing, it was developing a reputation for me. And I felt by 2022 that I was starting to go above the organization.
Really?
People were starting, like, I felt like my riding was taking a precedence over the organization.
Okay.
And the event and the mission and your ride or the other rides people are doing, because I'm out there doing this long, wild stuff, which is cool, and it's great that people aspire to do it. Mm-hmm. But I really started to feel by 22, it's like,
well, you're solely about us. You're not about yourself.
Well, it just felt like it was going to a place it was never intended to go.
Right on.
Because when we first started doing the rides, it was just to keep people in the game and to show them what was possible during that really difficult time.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Right? And then it just sort of picks up momentum as you do bigger rides, bigger rides, bigger rides. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a minute. Because when you get to 22 now, we're coming out of COVID. You can kind of get back to the regularly scheduled program. Things get back to normal. Mm-hmm.
Back to the 3 races in a camp and kids.
Yeah. So, over time, what I have felt is I've had to find other things. I've had to do other things to find a way to continue to challenge myself and do different things, because it's not sustainable. I mean, if we've ridden around the UP and now we got to keep doing bigger stuff,
right.
Like that takes you away from what you're actually trying to do, and that's to get people off the couch to come out and do a 20-mile
right. Not
race.
1,700 miles.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Would it be something you guys would advertise, like eventually?
No, I mean, when we did it, the intention was to make that road available.
Right on. Okay. So if people wanted to do it, they could do it.
Correct.
Right.
But what we learned, and this was another lesson along the way, is that access, land ownership.
Yeah. The logistics part of it.
It's a very complicated puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's constantly changing right now. Land is constantly changing hands. Ownership is changing hands. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, during COVID, a lot of no trespassing, keep out signs went up.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Man. And that has continued to sort of proliferate, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at the logging company in Marji. We can't even put staples on trees anymore. You just never know what can change whenever you're talking about that.
I mean, in that case, I totally get that.
Well, I mean, but you never prepared for that, I'd imagine.
Well, we weren't prepared for it, but we immediately adapted to it.
Yeah, there you go. That's the whole thing. Yep,
I mean, it totally, when they came back and they said that, it was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
We don't want to ruin the trees.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so the land access, that's why the route never got put out publicly. That's why I've kept it private. Mm-hmm. I mean, it got to a point where I actually made my Strava account private because too many people were, it was public.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Too many people were going and grabbing GPX files from rides I did, and then, not realizing that sometimes if I'm out riding, it's a recon ride.
Yeah.
And we may find during that recon ride, probably shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I don't want 10 people going on the Strava, grabbing the ride and riding through there, because I'm going to be the one blamed for that.
Right. Yeah.
Even though we were just there trying to vet out, like
all the bad stuff.
Yeah, just finding new places, and then maybe finding out that something's sold, it's now private. There's signs up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a complicated deal.
Oh, I bet. So do you guys have like a quota that you guys try to do each year, like whenever it comes to like exploring more as far as the organization is?
Well, not a quota.
Okay. I guess that's probably not the right
but
word.
we're continuously trying
The
to
goals.
find new stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
For people. Again, Marji's hard because we're featuring the trail systems.
Yeah.
And we can only change to the degree that the trail systems do.
Right.
Okay. Ramba's really good about continuously sort of
upgrading,
adding little new wrinkles and making things interesting.
Taking the dirt away and leaving rocks.
Right. They do a great job of that. For the most part, I'd say that like NTN and Friends of Harlow, they're maintaining and keeping the course in good shape. And the course is the course. Polar roll, we try to change what we can. That can be a little restrictive also. Crusher's the one that probably most it changes the most from year to year.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
This year there's some wrinkles, some nuance that we're changing up, but we're still going to be in the Kimono. Cool. Are you going up to that one?
Yeah.
So you're planning to sign up for that?
For my Triple Crown, yeah. I got to do the 175, I think, right?
Okay, so you're going to do the mass start.
Yeah, mass start. Yeah, that I'll only do Crusher mass start now. I've attempted 2 EXs. It's just not the same feeling. I like being out there.
Both 225?
Yes, or no, EX 100. I did the 225 and then the 100. That same exact year right after it, and same type of scenario. I don't know what I was expecting. It's kind of insanity.
When you say it's a different feeling,
the racers out there, it's just like being a part of Marji, and all of a sudden you're alone for hours, and then you come across somebody, and it's the most exciting thing in the world because you get to talk about what you just went through together and stuff that you'll never be able to talk about anywhere else. And the simple, hey, hi, the fact that I can say hi to someone instead of going crazy talking to myself, or you're riding on 510 or some of those logging roads forever, and you're not seeing a house, a road, nothing. You literally feel like you're back 200 years into the past. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And when you come to the finish line of a mass start, that was my very first finish line that I remember for the rest of my life. Before that, I've done 30 plus races, and I remember the finish lines, but they weren't like coming into Crusher 100 mass start. All the people there, the bells, the Jack Daniels or the Fireball. I didn't get any of that. But.
So you're talking the year you did it as Hammer. 18?
No, 19. Not 19. I
was
there,
19. Yeah, that's right.
I was there with my dad when he did the Hammer when there was all the rain. And then 19 was, I wanted to do the Hammer, but then you guys changed it to the Crusher the very next year.
Yep.
So, and those people who did the Hammer, I feel like are like the legends of 906 because the type of event that was and what you got out of it, and like, it's like you threw them out there like you do with Marji, and it's the way it came back then was just, I feel like, a lot more raw.
There were 25 people that did the sledgehammer.
Yeah,
the
crazy.
190 or whatever it was, or 200 or I don't remember what it was.
It's so crazy.
Then we had that 100. We had a 30. The 100 and the 30 actually base camped out of Forestville.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, I'm mixing that up with 19. No, everybody base camped out of Forestville.
Okay.
In 18.
The
biggest part of the event, I think, actually that year was the team event.
Really?
Yeah, the 2-person teams.
Yeah.
Because when we brought Hammer in, we were sort of modeling it as an adventure race.
Right.
And we were kind of looking at an event over, I think it's over by Pisgah. And they had a pretty cool format. We thought, you know what? We've got the resources and the land to do that. Let's give that a try. And that team event, actually in 18 and 19, was a huge part of Hammer, and then 19, the Crusher. And then what killed it was COVID.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because it's like the identity of Crusher then through COVID became a very individual driven adventure.
Not a team race.
Not a team, because,
right.
The 2 years we did it as a mass start event, the fun of it was competing against the other teams.
Yeah, right.
And then like running into teams out in the middle of nowhere and kind of comparing notes, like looking at the map together. That was the fun of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, in an EX format, that element was removed.
It's completely gone. Yeah. And whenever you go and do checkpoints, you're like, oh yeah, it's not the same as when my first Crusher 100. Whenever we got to the 510 spigot, there was probably 20 people, 20 riders there, not people, not just car, 20 riders, and we were all feeling the same exact way, and we were all looking at our books and showing the stuff and the crashes and whatnot that went into it. And if you're doing an EX, like you're just gonna take a picture. That's it. You're just gonna keep on riding past. I feel like just the energy, but I feel like it's a beautiful event because of the opportunity that it gives to people who can't necessarily make it mass start, or maybe they don't like to ride with a bunch of people. Maybe they just have their quota in the way that they ride, and it just works out the best for them. Me, myself, I like being around people. I don't like to be in these woods up here alone. I've done it enough.
It's two totally different experiences.
Completely, yeah.
And the cool part is that we can make both experiences available to people.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you could go do both.
Yeah.
Or you could just do the one that you enjoy.
And whichever one that is that you choose.
Yeah,
EX or mass start.
Absolutely.
They all got their benefits and their downsides.
We didn't, back to the video.
Sorry.
We keep going off on tangents. That video, how did you eventually, because I feel like people in the comments, I think it got to you a little bit. Yeah? So is it because you kind of started reading the comments? Did people bring up the comments?
It was more or less like you never really want to know what people are thinking about you. Like in that moment when I was reading that type of stuff, I'm a young guy who comes everything that I'm doing, I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it myself. So, and all these people who are commenting on that in their mid-30s, early 40s, maybe even their late 20s, who, you know, basically they have a perch to sit on, so they just think that they're going to want to let it ride. And they think, you know.
Can I ask you a question? So as you looked through the comments, what percentage of the people who were in the comments saying mean shit, how many of those people really know Vince Cate? Zero,
Not
right?
a single one, yeah, I know.
So it was like zero?
Zero.
So you're reading the comments and it's like, don't know this guy, don't know this guy, don't know this guy.
I remember one guy, I'm not gonna put his name out, but he after he realized who I was, he was like, I'm sorry. I did not mean to know.
Meaning what? That you're Dave's kid?
Yeah, like they're sorry that they even said that type of thing, you know, because I always
why do you think he was sorry when he realized you're Dave Cate's kid? But he wasn't sorry before that.
I know that he was sorry because I confronted him about it.
Okay, so do you know this person?
No, not really anymore. I remember it was before 21 Marji. I met him at a hotel, or crossing paths at a hotel, and I was like, hey, I remember you. He's dated one of my friends back in the day, and they broke up, but he still is in this organization doing races.
Oh, okay.
And he's all talk. He still hasn't finished one, you know, but still has all this talk. And
so you asked him about his comment?
Yeah, about his comment. Like, why would you say that type of thing? What gives you not necessarily the right, but like, we're all human beings in this safe space that we have in 906 Adventure Team. When someone, I wouldn't use the word exposed, but when your feelings are put on the line for everyone to kind of experience it, it does kind of put you in a more vulnerable place. You know what I mean? I could have looked at that whole video after, you know, as I looked at it months later, not as a bad thing, but it was maybe what everyone else was thinking. Maybe it was a good thing. But for all the people that were commenting on it in the first place, you know, obviously they don't know me. They didn't know how many years I coached before that even happened. You know, they don't know what I've done in my life and the races that I've done.
When it came out, what was your initial reaction when it came out?
I was mad, very upset, because it came out while I was racing. I had gotten to NTN trails, and he showed me the video on the page.
Oh, and so you saw it while you're out there?
I saw it as I was quitting, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to it was after NTN. It was a bunch of mobiles. I remember constantly going up and down the hills. I don't remember the trail name, and that's just what took it out of me. And then, you know, he comes and picks me up, and he's like, look at all these people viewed. Look at all these over 1,000 views on this one video. And you're like, when was that taken? Oh, at Lowe's. And you're like, okay. Oh boy,
not stoked.
No, it wasn't my brightest moment. Not one of my best moments either. That was one of the worst spots in my life. You know? But it became a kind of a theme, you know.
At any point, were you able to laugh at it?
At it, yes. After, yeah.
When? How long did it take?
About a year. Okay. At camp the next year, because other people were laughing at it, and they kind of just, you got to be light about this. You got to understand, we're all feeling the same exact thing that you were that day.
That's a true story. I mean, I think that you were caught on camera.
Yeah, a little bit exposed, but
simply saying what everybody is thinking.
Yeah.
Right? Or saying, literally saying out there.
And I just never was the person to kind of keep it in. I wouldn't walk up to him if my dad's like, oh, every single time we get to a checkpoint, he'd be like, how you feeling? What are you thinking? And I always think back of that time because I was a hothead coming in. And I remember thinking about what I was going to say to him by the time I went past the time check thing going over Lowe's.
Yeah.
And I remember like, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to start out, this is some bullshit. And everyone's moving this and the rocks and the roots, everything's moving out and you're gone. And you're gone. All these rocks and roots gone. And it just kind of became this whole entire, and see, like, I felt like it was my most vulnerable position. I didn't realize that it was really a funny scenario until I was like older, looking back at it, going, "Who's that dumb kid that said that?" I'm like, "Oh wait."
Do you remember? Do you remember when Shreddy did a remix of it?
Yes. Oh man, Shreddy. This goes out for you, Shreddy.
I haven't seen that version in a while. That was good.
That is a good one. That guy's always got something new coming out.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something about that video. I think. As hard as it probably was to see it, and I think your reaction when you initially saw it of displeasure or being pissed or hurt, completely valid. I don't think the video was put out there with that intent.
Yeah, for sure.
At all.
Yeah, right.
It was put out, I think, well, probably through your dad's lens, like, this is fucking funny. Right?
Yeah,
but that's through the lens of a guy who's lived a lot of life. Not a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid who has not. Right. And now feels exposed.
Completely.
But, I'll tell you, like, I think it was a gift because you had to experience some really harsh reactions. But the thing that I always remember is those people that were the cruelest to you, they don't know you, right? So all that they've really exposed through social media is that they're cruel people.
Yeah.
Right?
Themselves.
They themselves are cruel people.
Yeah.
And I think that is what, I spend a lot of time on social media and I keep looking for a way to not have to because it's not the best place to spend time. But what I have learned is social media is a great place to get data points on people. Right?
Oh,
it's not a place to sit in the comments and argue. I'm not saying you should read comments. I'm not saying that any kid should read.
You're talking
comments.
like get the true color out of somebody.
Yeah, like
who they actually are.
Absolutely.
Right, because they're sitting in their comfy chair typing away with their little thumbs.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much more comfortable than that.
It really, like, I had a post or two I put up over the last couple of days, and there were some interesting reactions from people. Okay. And to me, like, there's this one person, she's always floating in. She never has anything positive or productive to say. It's always some contrarian fucking bullshit. She's upon her perch. And it's like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I'm not going to sit and engage with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not necessary.
No.
But they're helping you see where they are.
Right. Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it actually, I really do think that if you can use it right, and not get too emotional about it.
Right.
It can help
kind of use it like fuel in a fire instead of, like an anger fire. I guess at that point.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes back to that whole, it's not failing, it's learning.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this is also learning. Mm-hmm. You can learn it. You can learn through how bad people are using social media.
Yeah, for sure.
How to not use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Don't read comments.
No. No, if I just post, I just leave it alone.
I mean, or if you want to look at it, people who know you, care about you, and love you.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
Right.
That's really the main question. And I don't think there was anybody who knows you and loves you
that commented on that,
who was in there talking mean shit.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Because like whenever I go and post my race results on my personal page, and then there's my brother was pretty negative talking about there on me, not Nick, but another one. But everyone else it was support I've never ever felt or really seen anymore.
Your brother was talking negative about you in the video?
Yeah, on my finishers for Marji.
Oh.
I ended up having to delete pretty much a lot of it. But everyone else was like, I had one person asking me, the first time ever someone ever asked me, what's your next adventure? I have never ever had to stop and think about that type of question. Or like Gary and Kelly Durian or Durain. I don't know how to say the last name. I'm sorry. It's one or the other.
Gary and Kelly.
Yeah, Gary and Kelly. They were a big part of this race this year for me. They gave me a stuffed unicorn when I finished. They thought about going out and getting something for me while I was still racing. Like, there's not many people like that, and they're the ones that are.
They're pretty unique.
They are amazing people. They truly are amazing. And the fact that Kelly tells me that I inspire her,
You're going to need to inspire her to finish the Mass Start 40.
Oh, yeah. Well, like when, I feel like that's one of those things you can never be prepared for is when someone tells you that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's almost like a kind of a mastic result. I don't know exactly what to say to you. So I'm thinking like if I come to you and I tell you, you're my inspiration. I want to be like you every single day of the week, and probably in an uncomfortable way you feel something, but in a very soothing and happy way you feel something, but they don't really necessarily correlate. You know what I mean? So,
it's a responsibility.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's it. And you hold yourself at that stage, and you're not doing it so that you're asking for people to say, hey, you did a great job necessarily type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you and I both know you did a great job at Marji this year. I don't need to tell you that. You know what I mean? You already know it. So when you see the negative comments and all the people that truly didn't know me, and then you see the positivity from the people who know me, and they don't even know me through life. They know me because I own a bike and I ride my bike with them. And they know that, just like them, I'll sacrifice whatever it is on the bike to get a finish done now,
Yeah.
And those walls that you break through are uncanny. It's not something that, I don't know, like... For people to be there and experience it with you and then comment about it, I feel like is different than just going through it by yourself. Like, because I went up and did this race all by myself. I drove up by myself. I sagged myself because I wanted to prove it to myself that I could be able to do it. Not only finish the race, but I could do it all by myself. I don't need anybody. You know what I mean? So then when you have people that actually want to support you, actually do stuff for you or say things to you that, I remember when I got to JP2, Al Wade, he put the biggest fuel in my gas tank. I can't quite exactly remember what he said to me other than, get back out there and just keep going. But this is a guy that I respect. This is a team that I've always wanted to be on. And this is the guy who is truly seeing where the growth is. And, everyone who's sitting around me while I'm eating this ham and cheese sandwich, they know you're going to finish it. You're at this point. You're way further than anywhere else before. And
do you think the support that you've felt and the support you've had around you in your 7-year journey, do you think that that's been an important piece of the eventual success?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say the people I've met through 906, the people that are what I had before 906, I would say is comparative to nothing to what I have now.
Do you think you'd be here today talking about having finished it, having done it, had you not had the same group of people around you?
If I didn't have gotten into biking when I did, I probably still would have some type of form of asthma. I probably still wouldn't. I still probably be on an inhaler. I dropped that within a year, not having an inhaler on me anymore. And like those are just little personal things that, but I don't think I would have ever gone for hard things. I don't think I've ever would have started one of my 3 companies. I mean, there's a lot that followed through with it. I wouldn't have, enrolled back into school because it's just like a not necessarily a fear factor thing, but for me, I was scared of results before even signing up for it. So it just pushes you away from the entire idea. Oh, well, when there's millions of people trying to be an astronaut every single day. Why would you go and try to do that? Because I feel like there's a chance and that there is a possibility and a capability that I will be selected. You know what I mean? It's just everything that falls into it. But whenever you're thinking about Marji and you're like, well, how many people fail in this? How many people succeed in this? And then how much does it freaking matter what anybody else does? You know how long it took me to realize that I cared and worried about everyone else's results and my results over everyone else's results and me actually finishing so I could prove to, or, show you, hey, look, this is what I finished. This is what I did. And now all of a sudden you're getting these, like, without wanting to, or really putting the passion towards it, you're gaining all of these ranks, all of these respects from myself that I never really necessarily wanted. And I didn't necessarily sign up for it, but it's because the way that I am earns you the respect and the titles from some people that, people call me coach. I never would consider myself a coach, but I've coached probably over 120 mountain bikers at this point on the
through Marji Camp,
through Marji Camp and another organization down south. But that organization down there ain't nothing like coaching at Marji Camp. I mean, when you have a 19-year-old kid who's showing you as a 40-something-year-old lady and you're like, well, I can be able to do that, or maybe I can't be able to do it. And then, we throw you down there and make you go through it. And then I gain the respect of it after. I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be able to sit here talking on a podcast. That's for sure. I would have been too scared to drive the 7.5 hours to make it up here. I wouldn't have left this morning. That's for sure. I felt like today I felt like my voice needed to be heard.
Yeah.
Like I felt like this is a story that needs to be.
I'll give you a little, this is one other tip on comments. So in the same way that I'd say don't read the comments as far as negative comments, because it's just not productive. You need to be careful with the positive too. And I say that because I think comments in general, this goes back to that whole expectation piece, where you started like you had expectations on you, you had this weight on you to do Marji. And there's definitely like that undertone of like proving yourself.
Yeah.
Right? When you get to a point where you feel like you have proved yourself, and then you start attracting some positive attention from people, that is an incredible responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's very, very easy to quickly lose connection with humility.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is like, for me with 906, like we're sitting here today because I got up every day for the last 11 years and I'm just getting after it. And I'm right out there with my thoughts, what I think, the mission, what we're doing, whether you like it or don't like it, I just put it out.
Yeah. Take action.
I'm just being who I am. And that can draw negative criticism.
Right. Right.
And that can bring positive feedback.
Right.
It's an incredible responsibility.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I can't imagine. I seriously cannot imagine being you.
Any time I meet somebody who longs for attention and leadership, that person worries me.
Right.
Because it makes me think they're not in it for the right reasons.
Right.
I think to really lead people, you have to continuously, on a daily basis, be at odds with the responsibility. Because what I see every day is people are very easy to influence.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why they're getting manipulated by the majority of people around them.
Yeah.
Because they're easy to influence. And people know how to take advantage of people.
Yeah, for sure.
In a bad
I'm sure
way.
People try to take advantage of you all the time.
I learned through sales a long time ago how I could use my skills for good or for bad, right? I could use my skills to help people, or I could use my skills to make me a lot of money. I chose to use the skills to help people. There's just there's a lot of responsibility when people start looking to you to stay humble, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, not get too far out over your skis.
Yes. Yeah.
And just stay down to earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, heck, I could give you kind of a good example of exactly what you're talking about. And this is kind of full transparency. Pretty sure Shreddy was the one who commented or posted something about a professional writer or a growing up young writer who got into this national series. And what they were basically posting about was, we got to get this guy some money, get him, we got to get him a big fat checkbook so he can be able to make it to these races and be happy, healthy, and be able to survive and be able to race mountain bikes professionally. I remember I commented on it and I deleted the comment because I remember being upset because the simple fact of other people, like you're almost like how you're saying, you almost are striving for this attention. Like you want people to give you the attention, but then you can just get it by just being you. You know what I mean? Like when my first year camp coaching, or not, I wasn't coaching at camp. I had Evan Simula as my coach.
Good coach, by the way.
Great, fantastic coach. He taught me everything that I know.
Evan's a good dude.
Fantastic. He, pretty much exactly going down to your point, at the start of that, I felt like I had a respect or something that I didn't have, a name or something that I didn't have, you know what I mean? And until I really started to realize that I created my own name, and it's not just because of my dad or the type of things that you go through or your family members that, where I was seeking for people to be like, hey, you're the leader, want to be like that. Where it was almost easier if you don't try. Like it's almost like people are trying too hard, or they want people to seek like you're saying, seek the attention out of them. But if you just simply just do your own thing and like show your appreciation for people and your connection, my love for biking, my love for coaching people. I love coaching at camp. I can't think of a better weekend, especially my birthday weekend, to be able to spend it out with everybody other than a whole bunch of random strangers that become battle buddies by the end of the weekend. I mean, it's something else. But like even back in that moment, I was like, man, I can sit here and be angry at the simple fact that no one ever posted anything like that for me. And I'm a person who's been trying to be a professional writer, ever since I really figured out that it could be a real thing. And, even when your own family doesn't even try to help you out with it, and you're like, this is a lonely world, I got to figure out how to do this on my own. And then you make a comment, stuff like that about it, and then you humble yourself by realizing, hey, that probably wasn't a good move, because I have a responsibility and a reputation that if I go on this tangent just because I'm mad about something, even though it's not right, like I can't tell you how many hours I sat back and read that whole conversation, thinking about my comment on it and going, that was just dumb. It's just absolutely stupid. It was just because I was selfish. I was mad at the simple fact because I had it so hard, and this guy shouldn't get it easy. He should get it as hard as everybody else should, or even harder. And maybe it's the whole, a lot of pressure makes diamonds, that type of thing.
Sure.
And maybe then I was trying to formulate, a lab grown diamond when God's just trying to make me into a natural cut stone. You know what I mean?
You gotta trust the process.
Yeah.
And you can't skip the process.
Yeah, whatsoever. And like I struggle every single day, and I don't let it get me down as much as possible. You know what I mean?
Can we talk real quick about this astronaut thing?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to.
Did you hear that he wants to be an astronaut?
I have heard this. I'm interested to hear.
So where's this come from?
Where's this come from? I think 906, really, whenever it comes to the true belief that I will be able to do it. Ever since I was a little kid, my mom, my dad, we had a timeshare in Florida, in Orlando. We used to watch the shuttles go off at Cape Canaveral all the time. It was very, very far away, but you could still see them coming up and going up.
I've never heard this story.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
STX or STS 66 was the very first one that I saw. It was on my birthday in 2006. It was a resupply mission for the ISS, and I remember watching it and going out, watching it in person, coming back in, and this was one of a pretty big mission where they, were trusting other types of human beings instead of just straight up, the tops of the top mathletes and scientists and whatnot. These are regular people who are like mechanics, who a regular person like you or I, and these are people who have very hard upbringings, and they made movies about them.
Yep.
And now they're at this point where you can't do much more for science, for the planet, for humanity than research and putting yourself on edge. Like I have dreams about being a planetary or an orbital astronaut. I dream about being in orbit, looking out the cupola and watching Earth. And I dream about going to a different planet because I want to sacrifice, not necessarily sacrifice myself, but if there's somebody that's going to make themselves a bridge, it's going to be me. And that's the whole 906 thing that came out of it.
So what is the process?
So there's a lot that goes into it. I tried to do it without going to college, and basically was trying to do a lot of community outreach.
Yeah.
You need a lot of time in order to do that. And
a lot of time doing what?
Like being a part of the Lions Club, starting nonprofits and donating back to the community. And there's a lot of things that you very much can do without having to go to college that it gets your exposure rate very high. And, sending out the right emails, talking with the right people, networking, getting in with ex-astronauts that can be able to get you into the little niche club, you know what I mean? But you still got to be certified.
Do you know an ex-astronaut?
Not alive anymore, no.
Okay.
I this past winter, I did a barn for a guy, and right next door, the guy who I was building the barn for, he worked on the control center for the Apollo missions, and then the guy who lived next door was he was on the list and never got chose for an Apollo mission, but he still went through all the processes, acceptance rating and all the little prelims that you have to do before even getting to there. And that was where I pretty much learned everything. I thought it was easy, you just sign up and go for it. No. No. Just like everything in this world.
You thought that becoming an astronaut was going to be easy?
Not necessarily easy, but whenever it comes to signing up for stuff. Now, basically, I learned my whole role, how I want to take throughout this, using a company out of Florida Tech, or FIT, Florida International. I can't speak right now. FIT. We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave
Florida
it at
Technology.
FIT. Fit.
And IIAS is basically based out of there, and it's about 20 minutes away from Cape Canaveral. IIAS, or International Institute for Astronomical Sciences. They train commercial astronauts and private astronauts.
Okay.
Now, NASA astronauts are private astronauts. Blue Origin and like SpaceX and whatnot, Axiom missions are all commercial. So it's a completely different ballgame. It's two different fields. Very easy to get into commercial, very hard to get into privateer. NASA probably holds 15 spots a year, and on average it's about 6 to 16 attempts per astronaut to be able to get accepted. And then your road's not even basically started yet, but at least you're into the program.
Yeah.
But I basically have to do, if I go to school, I can be able to handle it all under tuition, which is kind of the whole goal. If I don't end up going that route, then it's probably gonna cost me a lot of money. I think last time I calculated it was over $30,000 in certifications and probably 2 years worth of stuff that I got to do. I mean, from scuba training to ham radio license to NOLS training, which is like a survival school for wilderness training. Or
National Outdoor Leadership.
Yeah, leadership school. Yeah, it's a fantastic organization.
Yeah.
That's probably the first thing that I want to get into, because I feel like that can help for 906 too. I feel like a lot of the coaches need to be doing a NOLS training trip. But
so that training, what you just mentioned, those 2-3 things, that is relevant toward becoming an astronaut.
That's that you pretty much can't walk into that door, sit down in that chair unless you have
You have to have been through NOLS?
Yeah. At least for you to go through IIAS, in order for you to get your POSSUM 1, which your POSSUM's abbreviation, but it's basically Polar Arctic Scientific Trials, basically. And you have to be proven that you're a good leader, because you can't be out there. You can't have everyone be the weakest link. Everyone's got to be the highest that you can be, or the most not really successful, but leadership mentality, knowing that you're not going to leave a person behind. There's a lot that goes into it. But like a survival school, leadership school like that, it's almost like if you were left on a planet and you had to make your own decisions, because they basically prepare you for that. You're going to have to leave a person behind, or you're going to have to take them with you. You got to weigh those odds out. Exactly how are you both going to survive? Is only one of you going to survive? That's just one of the main certificates. I mean, in order for you to get I have to go through 4 different programs through IIAS before I can even get to the certification table.
How long does it all take? If you were to guess.
My 5-year plan I have right now should work out.
Okay, 5-year plan.
Yeah.
So by the time you're 31.
Yes, by the time I'm 31. Yeah. So when I was looking at my 4-year, 5-year for my business that I have now, it's just too much guessing compared to, I know for a fact that if I put A and B in order, that X and Y, X, Y, and Z will follow at the end of it, instead of, hopefully I'll make, $100,000 this year so I can be able to afford to go to college this year. And then hopefully in the next year, hopefully.
So you're going to go to college for a particular degree?
Yeah. So I'm basically starting at Macomb Community College for just under like a biology degree, just scientific. It's for associates, so I'm not really going into really heavy credential classes then when it comes to my actual topic. But I want to get my associates done there and then transfer to ASU, Arizona State University, online, and then go for my astronomical and planetary sciences degree. Now, that degree itself pretty much is a guaranteed ticket right in if you graduate with it. I want to go to ASU to do that because I can't transfer from Macomb Community College, my community college, to FIT, which has IIAS, all these good props that come with it. So if you're going to school at FIT, you get IIAS, which is your sponsorship program, for free. Each one of those programs, there's 4 of them, and they're around $7,000 a piece. So you get all that for free. That kind of adds up and makes you, feel a whole lot better by the end of it. And then interning at different, space organizations, interning at Kennedy Space Center. It really depends on how far you want to go with it. I love space, and it's something I like to share with people. It's something I'll talk about all day long, and people get sick of me.
I've never heard you talk about space before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we've been at events, and you've been mad at me. So.
Yeah. And more or less when I'm up here, I'm talking about bikes, basically. Right. But I like even down to the whole biking organization, the whole biking thing and becoming an astronaut. There's been astronauts who were professional, cyclists that became astronauts, and or they would ride their bike to the airport and watch it every single day. And they have these examples sitting there, and it's just a hard type of being you have to be, because there's a lot of dedication for that one singular goal. And I could work for the next 10 years and still not be able to achieve it. But that one little slight 1,000% chance that I will be able to achieve it is what I'm striving for. That tiny bit of light and a little bit of the little bit of darkness that's out there. But I mean, even if it all doesn't work out, I could still work in the space industry, or graduate with a planetary astronomical planetary sciences degree or get a naturalist degree. If one doesn't work out of the other, I'd like to have a naturalist degree because I love nature and I mean everything that goes along with it and the science behind it, and I like to understand how things work. And then I could go and work at a zoo. You could go and work anywhere. You could go work for the EPA, still living in Macomb County, and just
You don't know where it'll take you.
No, not whatsoever. But I know what interests me and what doesn't interest me. You know what I mean? I'm tired of clients and people not paying their money when I have all my bills due. I want stability.
Yeah. Pick a direction and start heading at it.
Head with it. Yeah. It's so like nothing else. No one's gonna stop me. Like when I talk about this, it's almost like I know, and everyone's like, how would you know? How many people sign up for this every single day? And it's like, it doesn't matter. I don't care about the fact. Just like when you're talking about reading the comments and reading everyone else's results and comparing yourself to other people. The people who do that don't make it. They don't make it to where they want to go because they're too busy reading the past, too busy reading the present.
Oh, it's a distraction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like to have your main goal and heart, I know that's what I want to do. And I very much see myself doing it. And I don't think that there could be any other type of human being that tops that type of human, that description of the best type of people in this world other than astronauts. I mean, look at all the Apollo astronauts, the Gemini astronauts, the very first people that, were test pilots that decided to just throw themselves in a tin can that's, thinner than aluminum foil in most places. They're not scared of anything. I want that no fear. I want to not be scared anymore. That's the whole thing. I've grown up in fear. Grown up that I'm saying too much, grown up that I'm walking too close to my dad, walking too far behind him. There's just so many things that just kind of formulate this evidence, this false evidence appearing real. And I love that saying because the more you say it to yourself, the more you start to realize that it's all in your head, dude.
I was actually just going to say,
freaking head, man.
Get out of your head.
Yeah. And which can be, I feel like, a really, really hard challenge. I feel like that challenge is harder for me than finishing the Marji, is for me to have personal peace in a way. You know what I mean? To have acceptance towards, because you always feel like you can do more. You always feel like you could do better. There's always roofs that you can pound through. You know what I mean? And it could always be worse. You know what I mean? Like, you're sitting there like, man, things aren't going really well. It could be worse. Could be sleeping on the side of the road, and
there is that.
Yeah. Like you just, if I have this momentum that I have going right now, why go in any other direction? You know what I mean? I feel like you can't be any other better type of human being than if you gave your life towards the dedication of future of science and all the other living beings. I mean, that's the whole point of the overview effect. The whole Carl Sagan's pale blue dot. The Apollo 8, when they crest over the moon and took the picture of Earth for the very first time. Not as all the colors on the globe, but as one unity. People that have to coincide and work together in order for it to, work perfectly. Kind of like literally the same exact thing as 906. And it's so crazy how you can kind of correlate and compare it all to it. But that's why I feel like being an astronaut's the best of the best, because you can correlate everything in life down to that one type of moment. There's so many different lessons that you can compare making it to that point, that there's just so many organizations and people out there who have, that's their life. That's the way that they work. Just like how you came up with the idea of 906 and you imprinted this type of lifestyle on, me and all these other people that you can't take it out of me, and it changed my progression, my life whatsoever. If I would have known about 906, I seriously, I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know what I would be doing for fun. I probably wouldn't be riding bikes, I really only got into that, then stayed into that because my dad was into it. And then I found that I love this. This is cool. And then I met people and I show my, what I'm capable of doing to other people, and they respect it. And you're like, this is just the coolest thing in the world. Because very rarely do you ever get to go along and get, openly respected by people. Now, how many other people, like you say, they just sitting there playing video games at home all day long. They go to work for 8 hours and they come home and that's their progression in life, which is cool. You do you, bro. That's
yeah. I mean, people should do what, brings them joy and what they're passionate about. And, I mean, I think I think the key is you have to have something that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, for sure.
And whatever that is, go do it.
Yeah.
And if it brings you great joy and happiness, and your great joy and happiness and sort of that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning and the thing that fires you up, if that inspires others, just that passion and that energy you live with, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, right.
Right? And share it. what we do, everybody's going to do different shit.
Yeah. Right.
Excellence is what really speaks to me. Excellence, doing a good job, having high standards, the way you treat people who don't stand to benefit you in any way.
Yeah, right.
Not how do you treat people that you're trying to get something from.
Right.
How do you treat people that you don't need to treat well?
But like the people comment on that, like the bad commenters, you treat them with respect, even though they didn't treat you with respect. That type of
100%.
Yeah.
You know what? That's good that you're catching on to that, because I think that's a thing that a lot of people miss. I mean, go on to Facebook when we get off this podcast and look at all the people, screaming. I'm saying that in air quotes, screaming at each other in the comments. Right?
Oh yeah,
they just need to learn to walk away.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, seriously.
I bet you there's going to be people that are going to be like, "Who is this kid, and why does he deserve to be on this podcast?" But it's because you don't know me. You do not know anything about what I do, and if you do know me, you know why I'm sitting in this chair right now.
Well, and it doesn't matter if they know you or not.
No.
You're here, and we're having a conversation.
Yeah, and there'll still always be those people.
Yeah, there will always be those people, and you need to learn how to use those people as motivation.
Yeah, right.
That's what they're there for.
Right.
If you actually take somebody who is critical of you, negative, shit talking, and you actually turn them into a positive motivation, that is a superpower.
Yeah, I bet.
And not in a, like, you got to be careful to not have your ego driving that. It's in a very objective way to look at negative feedback as a positive.
Yeah.
That can fuel you, because there's always something you can take from something that somebody says.
Yeah, right.
Good or bad.
Right.
And I think too often people gravitate toward only wanting to hear good stuff.
Yes.
And that is where it becomes a slippery slope.
Right.
Well,
that's the point of criticism. You got to take both. You can't take the good and not take the bad.
Absolutely.
And you can't take the bad and not take the good.
Yeah, and I mean, a great way on criticism to sort of qualify things, going back to what I said originally on that video, is the people who are criticizing you, what's the relationship with you? What steps have they taken to understand you? How many times have they talked to you?
Right.
Do they ever take the time to reach out to understand you?
Right.
And the more no's in the check boxes, it just helps illuminate who they are.
Right. Yeah.
And but still, even though they may be just shit talking, you can still learn from it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, you could. Yeah. If you sit there and don't take anything out of it, or take it in a negative perspective, I feel like you lose. Like you're like trying to lose pretty much at that point. You know what I mean?
There's still people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Change that.
There's still people, and your ability to respectfully engage with them when they've done nothing to deserve it can say a lot about you.
Yeah.
They really can.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice towards people that deal with this type of problem?
The number one thing I think that people get in trouble with is they get too caught up in their own head. And
I can contest to that.
And as much as they might say that or as much as a person may say or try to put off that they don't care what people think, actually the more that a person points that out indicates they actually do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can totally see that.
What I said earlier, like, I think people, you have to figure out, like, what brings you happiness? What brings you fulfillment? What do you want to do?
Right.
What do you want to do? Not what does Dad want? What does Todd Paquette want?
Right.
What's going to make Mark Salm respect you? And I'm not saying this at you. I'm saying in general. It's really be willing to take risks, make changes. Like, I mean, if that's the one thing that I've done that has really helped benefit me, I've done wildly different things throughout my life. Yeah. I didn't go to college.
Right.
So I have no degree. I was not going to be a thing.
Right.
Just sort of been doing different things and experiencing different jobs and different roles and different communities of people. Because like when I was a truck driver, so I've driven multiple different types of like tractor trailers and semis.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought you just worked for Gordon's.
Oh, no. Well, Cisco.
It was
not
Cisco.
Gordon's.
Oh.
Fucking enemy. I'm kidding. Gordon's is great.
Yeah, sure.
But when I was it's really interesting that, different types of people that get attracted to different industries. So when I was driving for Halron, fuel, high sulfur diesel, airline fuel, gasoline, you meet these guys, you're spending time with the drivers of these vehicles at the terminals when you're filling the truck up and going off to make your deliveries and stuff. Like, it's the people who are doing that job are different from the guys who are selling food, for Cisco, who I'm managing at Cisco, whatever, 10 years later. The people who I worked with at Menards, when I was, working up through different roles with that company, it's, they're different, they're younger, just different people, different types of people.
Yeah, completely
doing different things.
Yeah.
So, different experiences in different industries, doing different things, creating different proficiencies and skills and competencies.
Yes. Yeah.
You can kind of become like a Swiss
Army knife. Yep. Literally a walking Swiss Army knife.
Where you can really kind of, whatever task needs to be done, you can sort of do it.
Yep. No matter what it is. Yeah. You figure out the process of it, and then you literally make your own program and execute it. I mean, I solely stick with that, because I mean you don't get that unless you go through experience in life. Like, you try all these different types of jobs, because you can't learn. Maybe you could. It depends on the job you're at, but you could not learn like a true process of how, like a proposed operating system for a specific machine or a system that you have. Like, for me, whenever I'm making clothing, I know whenever I have an embroidery job set up is completely different than how I set up for a heat seal job. It's just the way that I prepare everything and then execute the idea is I wouldn't have got that unless I worked in the golf industry before. I worked in the golf industry for over 12 years and went from banquets to weddings to golf. And there's a lot of different things that happen in that area. And then you're also dealing with a lot of people, drunk people, a lot of random stuff. And you have to come up with a process. Otherwise, you learn to not enjoy it whatsoever. Because, I mean, if you don't have a process, you don't respect it, you don't like it, then you're just like, what am I doing? Like you say, you get up every day and you're like, what am I doing? And hell, this year I've had so many days, even after Marji, where I've woken up and been like, what is my purpose? What am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
And I feel like asking those questions is kind of the right thing to do. Is you just like, because if you sit there and almost lose the touch of exactly what you're trying to accomplish out of life, and you're just kind of waking up in the same monotony and doing the same type of monotony, and you're not really trying to do better things, I feel like you just get washed away. You know what I mean?
Well, you're 25, brother.
And see, I feel like I have a little bit of, I don't know if it's anxiety or whatever it comes in out of it.
I think you just need to relax a little bit.
I feel like I've wasted my 20s a little bit. I'm getting close. I'm 25. I'm over quarter century years old, and I'm not getting any younger. So.
You've done different stuff. That's good.
Yeah.
You're going to go do a new thing. That's good.
Yeah.
And who knows where it'll take you.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I mean, I didn't grow up wanting to be a truck driver
or own a bike organization.
Yeah. Or running a nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
You just don't know where it's going to take you. But, the number one thing I'd say that to approach is everything you do every day you get up, give it your whole self, give it everything you got, dedicate yourself to excellence, have high standards, hold yourself to the standards, don't get in the comments, don't read the negative, and don't get too caught up in the positive. Because I think too many people they're either riding a super high because everything's going great,
right,
and they got great feedback and everybody loves them, and they get stuck to that.
Yes.
And they need it.
Yep.
And that is not where life is. Most of life is spent in the fucking trenches.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not up here. These moments are few and far between. If you can't grind it out, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And then you also you just can't get caught up in the comments, especially now more than ever. There's just a lot of negativity. That's just a distraction from from not allowing you to get to where you can go.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And everyone's so stressed out with the economy and whatnot. Everyone's got their own personal issues that they almost forget about, that other people have issues too. Like, I'm sure you got problems. I got problems.
Everybody's got issues. But it's all stuff that is a hell of a lot easier to get through when you have a really solid community of people that you're part of.
Right.
Right? And that's the thing that I don't think that people... They're just looking past that, like in social media and stuff. They're spending so much time taking people down, breaking things, destroying things, bitching about things. They need to get the fuck off of that stuff and start doing stuff and just finding people that elevate them.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, have them make their own examples and become examples themselves. Yeah. You could easily sit there and 80% of the comments you'll read anywhere are going to be never positive, always going to be negative. Everyone's got their own problem with whatever the situation is, and I think it's because it's not their scenario, and maybe it's just not what they want. Maybe they got their own problems in life.
Yeah. There's just a lot of distractions.
Yeah, and social media is just the worst thing in the freaking world. I mean, it's good. It's good for
I mean, what we've done with it is a positive.
It's perfect. Yes, right. That's what I'm getting at. But whenever it comes to everyone being stuck, doom scrolling, and the distraction of that itself, right there, instead of living in reality and being true to yourself instead of what you're saying behind this, because half of those people you go and talk to in person, and like you said, they're not going to be anywhere near like how they commented on that one post. They were
not in person.
No, exactly, whatsoever. They won't even say the real type of thing to you, not exactly what they're feeling.
No.
It's just so fake.
Yeah.
And
you got to be Mark Solom and just stay out of social media. Just kind of.
You have a Facebook, don't you?
Well, he does.
I do.
Do you still get up and look at social media to see what you're walking into every morning? Do you remember when you said that one time?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I give it a.
He'll give it a once over to see what kind of stuff I'm throwing out into the social sphere.
Oh boy, get himself prepared for it.
A couple, 2-3 thumb pushes up the scroll.
It's kind of like the morning brief.
Yeah. Check the calendar, check Facebook for 3 thumb scrolls.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, they get stuck in that, and then they're there all day long, or whatever. You come up with this whole mentality.
Yeah, you got to get out of that as soon as possible.
Yeah, especially how many people are making money offline nowadays with this type of stuff. It's almost too easy to be necessarily lazier than like I work all day long every single day, and I probably won't even make 40 grand this year, but it's honest work, and every bit of that dollar I earn myself. A lot of these people are making $200,000-$300,000 a year, and all they have to do is literally go to the computer and clock in, maybe answer a couple emails, maybe go through this, maybe they got some hard stuff in their life.
Are we talking influencers, or what are you talking about?
Both influencers, or even like not necessarily like lawyers, but some people who have desk jobs that are like, they lose the humility behind it because, I wouldn't imagine what it'd be like if I made enough money to not care about other people's feelings. But there's a lot of people out there who are like that. They make enough money or whatever there is in their life, but they're like, you know what? I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about how you feel. All I care about is telling you what I feel like I need to tell you. And it's like this ego thing, but as an individual, you can't take it out of them. No one can, you know what I mean? Pretty much crush that out of them.
No,
that's
their
acceptance
thing.
That they get.
It's their thing. Find your thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna need to get rolling here. You got stuff to do. I know you got stuff to do. Are you driving back today?
Yeah. I got clothes I got to finish up tonight, and then job tomorrow.
Turn and burn.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was me and Oshkosh yesterday.
Yeah, what were you doing down there?
Did you see those bikes when you walked in?
Yeah. I saw you walking in with one.
So we got some bikes for some kids for Christmas.
Nice, man. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Hey, by the way, we've got some bikes coming from Chad and Nicole. We got to pay for them yet?
Oh, because they're closing down Spin.
Yeah. So I got to get an invoice from her. We're going to pay them and then figure out something to do with.
What an amazing group of people
with
there
the bikes
too.
for kids.
That won't be a problem. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, when she reached out to me, I thought nothing else. We've got communities that may end up needing to use them.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
As long as kids are on them, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, thanks for coming up today.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate
when
it.
you land on the moon one of these days, please make sure that you plant a 906 flag up there. I would love to run an event up there, actually.
Okay, yeah, sure.
The 906 Adventure Team Lunar Edition. The Lunar Crusher.
Man, maybe we need a winter race that's called that.
Someday. Brother, thanks.
Thanks, Todd.
Good
I
talking
truly
to you.
appreciate you.
All right, over and out.